What's poppin'? Welcome back to FNS Podcast. We here. It's just us today.
What's going on?
You know what I
Back in the
mean?
building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The wives
So
is
yeah, they doing their thing, which is I'm just getting work done pretty much with that. You know what I mean? My wife tend to believe I don't miss her. You know what I mean? But hey, that's false.
my wife, she already texted me talking about, man, she was trying to, well, no, I ain't.
What?
I ain't gonna get in all of it. You didn't get in yours, I ain't getting into mine, ain't no need to.
Getting into what?
Just just some conversational details, that's all.
You talking about adult activities, fam?
No.
Oh, like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you
No.
talking about? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know where you was going with this. Like,
no, this is all minor detail stuff.
Oh, no, you know.
Hey, look, I ain't dropping no locations, so.
No, you know, I ain't about to do that. But they said they being boring, so that's all I'm gonna say.
Boring.
That's what I'm saying. Folks taking naps and all kind of stuff. Like y'all not doing, you know what I mean? Like I'll say y'all going to sleep, y'all not really, you know what I mean?
For a drive like that and you bored?
Nah, like I'm talking about being out where they at. They not really people just talking, like, you know what I mean? I know my wife, she be capping when she talk about she about to get it in. She gonna be going to sleep quick. You know what I'm saying? That's all cap.
Hey, look, they all know. For anybody that listens to the squad pods, the main culprit that go to sleep first. They all know.
Like, my wife be capping. I'm gonna be up all. No, you not, man. No, you not. Say it to me. She do it to me all the time. Oh, I'm gonna be up and we go. Next thing you know, 10 o'clock hit. She gone, man. So I'm not surprised by any of this. So
I don't know the details of all the things that's been going on. I did talk to my wife today. She didn't say nothing about that though. She hit me with some news, but outside of that, it was nothing like as far as what's going on with day trip. But she did say that she was going to like send me pictures of certain things that she might want to buy that she needs my approval for.
Oh yeah, she had got me a bourbon. She told me that. I don't know what it was. She ain't say what bourbon it was. She said she got me a bourbon. I don't know what she copping, to be honest, because she was saving her cheese. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, that's out of my jurisdiction.
At that point, I mean, look, the first thing I told her was, don't get nothing that we can get here.
Well, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Like if you get something that we can get here, then you might as well not even get it unless it's like that cheaper, I should
like
say.
What you talking about, alcohol?
That's the only thing I'm talking about.
I mean, I'm all for not getting. If I could buy it at the crib, dog, I'm not getting it out of town.
Yeah, but you know, like when you go out of town, like there should be stuff that's like what am I doing? There should be stuff that's like I guess you could consider it rare or more stuff that could be specific to what they do over there where they at, versus over here. Because over here, if you go to like a Total Wines, like everything is sold at like state minimum.
Yeah, Total Wine's the truth, dog. I'm not even gonna lie. I think you put me on because I delivered. I used to deliver to Total Wine, but you told me about Total Wine because I delivered there. But I was only in the back, you know what I'm saying? So I hit the dock and drop off what I got to drop off. But when I went into the store, I'm like, hold on.
So
it's like a Walmart for alcohol.
It is. You know That's exactly what it is, dog. But like, so Total Wines is not going to have, for the most part, the rarest of bourbons.
They got a lot though.
They got a lot of stuff though. They do have some rare bourbons. Like they do have, like, you gotta like really comb through the aisle.
You gotta know what you're looking for, honestly.
And I mean, to a degree, yeah, because anything that they got like 20 bottles of, 30 bottles of the shelf, don't get that.
Well, I've been still trying to get that Shannon Sharp. I wonder if it should be regularly available now, right? Or that's still gone.
I think that's what LaWisha said, but
hold on, that's what she got?
No, that's not what I got.
Leaking it? Oh, okay. Oh, she ain't telling you what bourbon she got.
I'm on this. I'm on this. And this.
Oh, let me see. Hold up. Let me see. What is it? Hypnotic?
Yeah.
You drinking that young cat drink, brother.
And this.
Hen Dog. Is that the same Hen Dog you had before? The Henny and the Hypnotic?
Yeah, because I haven't had.
Just now drinking something? Man, you brought that over last year. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, well, look, it's supposed to get better with age, but like
he got the Henny and Hypnotic.
Last year don't necessarily mean 365 days though.
He over there drinking that young cat drink. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, this my
the YNs drink. Oh yeah, you tripping. All right.
What you mean?
Don't be surprised if you start tripping on this show. Don't be surprised if you start arguing for no apparent reason. Don't be surprised. Do not.
No apparent reason. You like to start stuff.
Don't be surprised if you start getting out of pocket.
Man, look.
Listen, I'm on Jack Daniels and Pepsi, so I mean, you know.
Matt likes to start stuff.
And
if y'all
Red
pay
Bull.
Attention to stuff.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be up all night. You know
if y'all pay attention to anything about this podcast, Matt starts stuff.
I start nothing. I just be keeping it real.
Matt be like, well, he hasn't done it lately, but he said that he would send stuff to me just to start an argument.
No, I mean,
yes.
I said I know how to push buttons.
What does that mean?
All
right, hold on a second. I gotta go grab some tissue.
All right. Yeah, so we here, you know, we about to be, you know, get in there. We're gonna talk about the Ant-Man. You know, we're gonna talk about him and his comments, which was out of pocket. Like, listen, Anthony Edwards, my man. That's my favorite player in the league, but you know, just because he's my favorite player in the league, that don't mean I can't be objective with the things he's saying here. Like, you know, I felt like the Wolves should have been a little more competitive in this series. I'm not surprised they lost the series. I wanted them to win the series, but I can also be real about the situation and know that the Thunder is a better team. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not oblivious to the fact that the Thunder is the better team. Huh?
Man, look.
Oh, you back? Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just had the bathrooms right there.
Oh.
But you know, Ant-Man, look, his body language, he phoned it in too.
I'm not gonna say you wrong here. I'm not about to disagree with that.
Man. Ant-Man, look, I don't know if this is a child support thing going on with the girl, or is this I don't know what this is. You don't remember that whole situation that he had going on? Like,
I know what that is, but before this, he pulled disappearing acts. Okay, so Anthony Edwards, the thing I have a problem with him, he does disappear. He disappears, man.
But he likes to do it without having no accountability for it.
And then somebody said something, actually, and it made sense. They said he picks on the old cats, but when it comes to the young dudes, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same energy.
Well, see, the funny thing is, the funny thing is, Ant made a video. Rewind back to when we was leaving Michigan the first time. About to drive to Florida.
Okay.
And we was over at another couple's house. And we was watching a playoff game. And it was like out of hand from beginning to end. The game. Like, it was that Dallas versus Phoenix. You remember that score? It was like 75 to like 25 in the third quarter or something like that.
Dallas versus Phoenix. This when Luka was wilding?
When Luka, Jalen Brunson.
Wilding.
Yeah, he was
wilding, dog.
He was going all the way
wilding, dog. Like, yeah.
He was going. So, Ant when that happened, Ant posted a video talking about man, y'all should be ashamed of y'allselves. Y'all only got 30 points in the third quarter.
I don't remember him doing that.
Okay, I'll send it to you. I'll
All
send
right.
it to you because I saved it. He made a video. He made a video talking noise like that. But what happens to him today? Well, not today, but I guess it was no, it wasn't yesterday. It was 2 days ago. 2 days ago. What happens to him 2 days ago against Oklahoma City? To start the third quarter, I think they only had like 32 points.
Man, listen, dog. Listen,
and look.
He gets no bill for me.
No, man, look. But his body language says enough. Like, his body language throughout that series, like, I seen some game tape where he just stood there. Like, he was, like, acting like a role player. See,
he disappears. I'm telling like the dude disappears, man. I do not like the fact that he disappears. He disappears for whole quarters. I've said, listen, when I was doing my predictions for the covers, I'm like, listen, the problem I have with Ant-Man is the fact that he will disappear. Like he disappears, like he just be non-existent. Like he'll make it up, but it's like, no, you can't be doing that in the playoffs, the disappearance stuff.
So
I don't like that.
I mean, look, all of this stuff that they hold him to. Is he talented? Yeah. Does he have like a whole lot of like skills to like bring like the mid-range paired with crazy athletic ability and an outside shot, finishing in traffic? He has all of those skills, right? Mm-hmm. But the one thing that he doesn't have, it seems like he hasn't developed enough of a dog in.
Well, it's front running. Listen, Anthony Edwards right now, like I was saying before, Anthony Edwards, he's my favorite player in the league right now. But the thing is, I can admit to his flaws. It's kind of like Carmelo Anthony, like, you know what I'm saying? I can admit to his flaws. And he talked that game, but when it's time to now, yeah, I can't blame it on the ankle, because I know some will probably want to go in that direction, because he did roll his ankle a couple times and stuff. So man, I'm not saying
if you can't play because of your ankle, then don't suit up.
No. What I'm saying is this: I'm not cutting him no bail, but I'm trying to close the door on all bail here. See, so you know, if he playing, he should be able to execute. The thing is this:
what exactly did he say?
He said that he's 23. He's only 23 years old, so. Which to me is a bad statement, because anything can happen. Just because you're 23, that don't mean. I don't know what's up with these young dudes, man. I don't know what's up with these young dudes. Tupac died when he was 25. Okay?
Listen, look.
Biggie died when he was like in his mid-20s. That don't mean nothing. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, man.
Yeah, and then the other thing too. This is sports. You can't bank on your team staying where they at.
Hold on.
Because
remember Sean Livingston's leg? How old was he when his leg snapped?
Wasn't he in his 20s, mid-20s?
How old was he when he talking that? But exactly. All it takes is one.
But Sean Livingston,
yeah.
But like this is the point that I'm making. You can't bank on every team staying the same year in, year out. Every team is theoretically, every team is trying to make an effort to get better year in, year out. So that team that you beat in the first round, in the second round, to get to this point, they're gonna make another acquisition. They're gonna draft somebody. They're gonna bring some other players in that's gonna make them a different version of what you saw last year.
Yeah, but that's the obvious.
Yeah, but the whole reason why I'm saying that is this: because you got to cash the check when you get it put in your hand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the obvious. The thing is, you was in the Western Conference Finals twice. It's not a guarantee that you're gonna get there. You got to.
Who did he lose to in the first time?
The Nuggets, I think. Yeah, it was the Nuggets, right? They beat them to go to the finals, right? The Nuggets. Did they lose the Nuggets?
It had to be the Nuggets.
I'm trying to think.
It had to be that championship year Nuggets team. It had to be them.
Okay, so the thing is, you know, all that I'm young stuff. That mean I don't buy into that. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, look, folks like to say this. folks like to say this. They like to say that teams is playing with house money. They like to use that term. And my reply to this is that your spot that you got this year is not guaranteed next year.
Well, no matter who you are, messed up this year. Honestly.
Right. But like what I'm saying is like people were saying that like when the Cincinnati Bengals, when they made the Super Bowl, they said they playing with house money.
Joe Burrow and them?
Yeah, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. You got your two best players on offense is younger than 5 years in the league. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so they was like, they playing with house money, which is a phrase that comes off like people like to say that, well, if they made it here at this age, then they should get there a number of times. That's not guaranteed.
Can I say something?
None of that is guaranteed. Hold on a second. None of that is guaranteed. Your opportunities to win in professional sports, they don't last long. And unless you got the cards heavily in your favor, you ain't going to have a consistent opportunity. And for him, being in Minnesota, having your best teammate as Julius Randle, you got a $200 million center, you know, and then you got some solid role players. You definitely don't have a guaranteed spot to make it back here next year. So, like, for guys like him, you got to seize the moment whenever you get it. So you can't have games where you only scoring like 6 to the teams, being who you supposed to be in this league. Like every game in the biggest game of your career is supposed to be you showing up in a major way. And that's 25 plus.
I'm not disagreeing with you here. So, I mean, I don't.
But go ahead and say what you want to say.
Ain't no disagreement. I mean, what you saying is like the straight up common sense. Everybody, you know what I mean? This is the thing. How long it take Jordan to even get his? 9 years? Oh, 9?
When he get drafted, was it 84?
It was, yeah, because he played in the Olympics before he played in the league, right?
Probably, because they were still allowing the young cats to play.
Yeah, either way it goes, it took him a while to get it. You know what I'm saying? You listen, everybody. How many times have you seen players, fans, Damian Lillard, for instance? Remember when he got to the Western Conference Finals, didn't even sniff it since. He got there, got swept, didn't they get swept?
Probably.
Didn't even sniff it since. You know what I'm saying?
See, but like folks that don't watch the game, but they just fall in love with the shot falling through the net. They don't understand stuff.
Like, look, basketball is a very hard. First of all, you're dealing with politics. That's one. You're dealing with, like you said, teams getting better. 3, you can't bank on your age because really, at the end of the day, when it comes to basketball, your team matters.
And then the other factor to this equation is because there's so much movement, your team will probably change.
Well, I was seeing some reports saying they don't know if they can keep a couple players, man. You know what I'm saying? The Wolves.
Because Julius Randle's eating up a lot of money, man. That $200 million contract is ignorant.
Well, it's not like
that $200 million contract is ignorant, fam. Like,
no,
you
I'm
can
not
get
saying that. I mean, they traded for him. That's their fault.
Yeah, that is their fault.
You know
they should have never did that.
I don't know what to say to that. You traded for Gobert and him. What? That's your fault, y'all. Cap strap. I don't know why you did that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I don't like when he said the young thing. I don't like that because
the young thing.
When he said he's 23.
Oh, okay? I mean, yeah.
I don't like the fact that he said that because the thing is this, right?
I would hope Mike Conley would straighten that out.
Yeah, Mike Conley probably, you know what I mean? Because this is, I don't know how much longer Mike Conley got. I mean, he could probably still play. He played bad. He was pretty bad this playoffs, but he's still in shape. So he would have to go to a team. Mike Conley have to go to a team that's
where he can come off the bench.
That's clicking on all cylinders too.
Mike Conley is no longer like starting caliber.
Well, they don't even have no point guard over there anyway. That's probably why he's starting anyway.
I mean, well, that you can say that for a lot of teams.
So anywhere he go to need a point guard, he probably starting due to the fact there is no point guard. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
I mean, now I agree he should be coming off the bench. He probably should be coming off the bench a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he have a problem with that. But due to the fact that there's no point guards, you know what I mean? Chris Paul should be coming off the bench.
Right, but he's forced to start.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. But he would have to go to a team that's clicking on all cylinders or something like that. Now, when it comes to Mike Conley, now I'm not all about LA moves all the time, but if he wanted to go to the Lakers or something, I mean, I wouldn't argue about that. They could afford him. I mean, you know, at least he'd be going to some cats that's serious or play serious or take the game serious. Anthony Edwards strikes me as a guy who don't take the game serious. Honestly.
Only at certain matchups. Only on certain matchups.
No,
only
man.
on certain matchups, man. Which is funny because you supposed to show up for every matchup, especially when it's in the playoffs.
He only pick on the old dudes.
Right. You picking on LeBron when he's 40, knowing good and doggone well. If you got the version of LeBron at your age, what is he? You said he's 23?
He said he's 23, yeah.
Man, look, LeBron at 23 years old. I really think people forget who LeBron was at that age.
I don't think people forgot. The media talk about him daily, brother.
Forgot.
No, there ain't no way.
Forgot.
No way.
I know people forgot because you got cats like
reminds you enough of who he is, who he was.
Look,
they remind you enough.
Let me tell you something right now. I heard Keyshawn Johnson. He was like, I never seen him posterize anybody.
Why would you listen to Keyshawn Johnson?
Because he's.
Why would you listen to him?
Well,
he's worse than Shannon Sharp with basketball, dog. He is.
Well, look, I'm not saying that I listened to him. I seen the snippet.
I can't believe he said that. Maybe it was taken out of context. This dude,
but he was talking to Skip Bayless too. So you know, take that for what you want to take it as. You know, so. But he was like, yeah, I never seen him posterize anybody.
That's cap.
And then Colin Cowherd, he was like, I look at the NBA and what Ben Simmons is, and I'm like, LeBron, we're good. You can go home. Pretty much saying that, you know, you can move on from basketball. We don't need you no more. Look how that turned out.
Look, I think like LeBron.
But look, I'm just saying, dog. I'm just saying, look, and this, I'm not making this discussion about LeBron because, you know, it is what it is with them. But like Cat, like he picked on an older version of Kevin Durant. We all, I mean, at least I feel, had he would have caught that Oklahoma City age Kevin Durant.
Warriors
Kevin Durant. It would have been a completely different story.
I'm not saying you wrong. I mean, listen.
And I'm not saying that means that they would have lost. I'm just saying that battle would have been a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Because he was over there talking cash, talking mad cash to some dudes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, maybe it was Kevin Durant's age that all he could do was laugh at it. Like, how does that feel? Like he doesn't understand how that feels to be older and watch some young cats get the best of you just because of their youth, not because of their skills.
I mean, listen,
because of their youth.
Listen, sports. If you stick around long enough, it's gonna happen to you.
Right.
It's gonna get done to you.
You're gonna be pissed off about it too.
It's gonna get.
You're gonna be pissed off about it too.
You can be pissed off all you want. Your body ain't gonna react the way you want it to.
You're right.
So you can be mad all you want. It don't matter. You know what I mean?
But in your mind, you're gonna be thinking about all the ways that you could have cleaned this dude up if you was his age.
But listen, when you get older, as long as you don't got dementia, your mind gets sharper, your body don't. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? So you gain, it's like a reverse effect. You gain more wisdom when you get older, but you physically deteriorate. Right. Even though you're dumber when you're younger, you know what I'm saying? But you know, you're physically there. You know what I'm saying? So it's
young folks feel like just because they can bench press a certain weight, squat a certain weight, they can run a certain amount, like they feel like they invincible, like you wasn't that.
No, that's the thing. So that's why, wisdom always wins over everything. That's why the boxer always beats the brawler every time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it is what it is. So the thing is this: Anthony Edwards, his comments up there let you know right there. You can't cape for him. He let you know already what it was. And a lot of this is him being young. It is. I mean, the dude, he ain't even 25 yet. So he got all this money. You know what I'm saying? He dealing with
He doesn't
girls.
even want to be a part of his child's life.
Listen, listen.
How do you feel about that?
Man, listen, dog.
You don't want to be a part of your child's life. You know, you trying to pay this girl. Did that go through where he was able to pay her off for a whole 18 years?
To be honest, I have no idea. So it's conflicting things.
But the fact that he was trying to do that, the fact that he was trying to do that.
This is the thing, you know, this is the thing, you know, I'm not with not being, there's no situation where you shouldn't be in your child's life. There's not one situation where that is acceptable. You know what I'm saying? So now, but that's where you got to make wise. See, we ain't trying to preach to you young cats or nothing, but this is the real deal here. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna be. You're. I wrote a lyric earlier. You're older a lot longer than you young, dog.
Right.
You are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what my dad told me?
You're old, huh?
My pops told me this about youth. He said youth goes by like a blow. Like your youth goes by like this. He goes. That's how fast your youth goes by.
It do.
Your youth goes by like that.
I mean, he not lying. It do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, dang, I remember when I was like, in my mind, it's like, oh, I mean, I feel like I'm gaining more wisdom with age. And I'm able
just
to
like that video that I sent you. That video that I sent you with those Ivy League kids that was out there cleaning up whoever it was that they was playing against that wasn't trying to play ball. Apparently, because I was sitting there looking at that and I was like, because I looked at the video a couple of times, I was like, every time they drive to the basket, ain't nobody like challenging, like ain't nobody trying to stop them from getting to the basket. They shooting open shots, ain't nobody putting their hands up to try to even contest the shot.
Right.
And so I'm sitting here looking at that like, I might not be their age, but I know I can make him work harder than that.
Listen, Bernard Hopkins boxed all the way till he was 50 because of wisdom. So, I mean, all that, the age, this is the thing. This goes into a whole deeper conversation when it comes to age. You know what I'm saying? You know, everything is depending on how you take care of yourself, honestly, is, you know what I mean? You have to continue on. It's like an old car. You have to continue. You got to work on, you know, keep all the oils on point, make sure you do the maintenance, and you can run longer. You know what I'm saying? You can run longer. You know what I mean? But the thing is, Anthony Edwards is going to be 30 in no time. Why are you talking? So he needs to seize his opportunity now. And you can have a career ending. What happens if he pops his Achilles, fam? Then what? He's not going
to be looking at him as the next, like, could have been.
Because Tatum just popped his Achilles. How old is Tatum?
And he's like 25, 26.
Something like that now. Was it ruptured Achilles, pop, whatever? Either way it goes, it's Achilles. And he going to be gone.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, he going to miss the whole year.
But he got his chip. But will Tatum be the same when he come back? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be cold
thing for him
still, but, you know.
Look, the biggest thing for Tatum is that team is going to be completely different.
What you
because mean? The team that he was surrounded by that masked his unwillingness to be able to have to take over games, that team, they gonna be moving some furniture over there.
Is that confirmed?
Yes, that is confirmed because they can't afford everybody on their roster.
So who's moving?
It could be everybody on the table except him. It could
Jaylen
be everybody
getting bounced.
I'm not saying that that's a for sure thing. What I'm saying is that I'm not like saying that their reports is saying that's not out of the realm of possibility.
If Milwaukee called you, if you Boston, like, hey, Let me get Jaylen Brown off you for Giannis. What you doing? You moving? You doing that?
Personally, I'll probably keep Giannis over Jaylen.
So you would trade Jaylen Brown for you? I'm saying if Milwaukee called you, that's what I'm asking you.
Oh yeah, I'm saying yes. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. Straight up. Right now.
And you like Jaylen Brown, right?
I do. But
and you don't like Giannis' game, as you say.
No. But once again, we got to preface everything with the state of this league. Jaylen Brown is able to get away with not being able to go left in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis is able to get away with not having any real skills, but just being stronger and out-efforting everybody in this league. And Giannis is way more consistently impactful to the game than Jaylen is, because Giannis plays a whole inside game.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Jaylen, sometimes his shot is off and you just getting defense from him, which is still a good thing, but it's like, we need you to make some of these shots.
Yeah, I mean,
so at this day and age, I would still take Giannis over Jaylen Brown, because Giannis is going to cause a whole lot more headaches to the other team than Jaylen Brown is in the current state of the league. Now, if you asked me this question 20 years ago, back in 05, with those power forwards and centers, then yeah, I'll take Jaylen Brown. Because Giannis is only going to last so long trying to roar his way to the paint and try, because that's the golden era. Listen, the 2000s is the golden era for power forwards.
I can agree with that. Those are the best power forwards, man. I mean,
and if you think about it, it's the golden era for the NBA as far as talent from top to bottom, from every position. Every position. You look at the point guards. It's like 2 or 3 point guards that you're thinking of all time on the list played in that era. You look at the 2 guards. It's 3 to 4 of the top 5 point guards in the history of the NBA played in that era. You look at the small forwards. It's like 2 to 3 guys. And like, if you consider the injury or not consider the injury, it could be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Power forwards is a landslide. Centers, the most dominant center in the history of the game, played in that era, had his peak in that era, I should say. But
he
like,
peak with the Magic, he wasn't peak with the Magic.
We all know, we all know peak Shaquille O'Neal was purple and gold.
Was he?
Yeah, that was peak Shaquille O'Neal.
Or was he with a better team? Because Orlando Magic Shaq was a problem.
I'm not saying that he wasn't.
He was a in shape. Shaq is a problem, dog. In shape, Shaq, and he went to the finals. In shape, Shaq was a problem, dog.
You right, but you know
he tore the rim down.
But his run, I mean, well, you know, technology improves over time. So tearing the rim down in the 70s, 80s, and 90s is not the same as tearing the rim down in 20s, 2000s, 2010s. Okay. Let me ask you because technology is.
Let me ask you about Shaq. Shaq. Okay. When I looked at Shaq for Orlando with Penny and Nick Anderson and them, Shaq running the floor, he doing all that. Cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, now LA, he got a little lazy. You know what I'm saying? If you until the Lakers legends talk to him about it. Oh, Lakers, okay.
The Lakers legends had a conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, Orlando was still a new franchise.
Okay.
So they had no standard to uphold.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you put on that purple and gold, there's a standard that needs to be upheld here.
Right.
You know, before you, there was Wilt Chamberlain. Before you, there was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So you got some guys that can talk to you and be like, yo, what's up? Ain't nobody talking to you in Orlando.
I'm just saying, dog, if he would have stayed in that Magic frame, they would have still won them championships. And Kobe probably wouldn't have been so mad at him so much either. Because even
I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Even with Laker legends talking to him about that, Kobe still was mad about him by his shape. Now, he was dominant. Yes, he was. But he could have been even more dominant, dog. He could have been.
You're right.
If he would have kept that frame he had in Orlando and was playing the way he was playing, Kobe would have never said a word to him.
Man, look, I'm not saying that you're wrong here. I'm not saying that you're wrong here. I'm not. But here's the thing. See, this is where winning doesn't make everybody better people. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got him, KD. Like, winning doesn't always mean you're going to be a better version of yourself. Because sometimes winning just feeds that inner arrogant person that you've been wanting to let out, but you've been having to keep on the hush because you haven't won anything. But when you finally win, now you feel like you got the right to let all of this out. And I feel like Shaq, he didn't abuse that. But when I look at,
he did.
I feel like he didn't abuse it. But I do feel like he took advantage of it.
That's the same thing, man.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
What do you mean?
You want to know why? Because Shaq, he was the head of the snake, and he got 3 championships being the head of the snake.
With Kobe and Wade.
You're right. With Kobe and Wade.
And with Penny Hardaway, dog. Shaq always had a cold
he didn't win a championship.
I know he didn't win with him, but Shaq did not win no championship dolo.
Nobody has. Nobody has.
So he had the greatest dudes with him now. So we're not gonna act like I know.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But in that state of the league, when you still dumping it down to the big man, even out of shape Shaq, that
had all world Kobe with him.
Kobe wasn't all world at that time.
He wasn't.
He wasn't all world at that time.
Cloning MJ wasn't all world.
No.
Them 3 champions, Kobe was not all world.
Listen, look. I'm not saying Kobe didn't show up and show out, but what I'm saying is Kobe. Would you say? Okay. Let me ask you this.
What, man? You said Kobe is not all world?
Let me ask you this. No, that's not what I said. Let me ask you this. What version of Kobe is better, 8 or 24?
They both was fired.
No, that's not what I asked you. Which one was better, 8 or 24?
24 can shoot better.
Which one was better, 8 or 24?
I don't know. They both got championships, brother. What are you talking about here?
Yeah, but they played different roles. So which one was better, 8 or 24?
Afro Kobe was nice.
Which one was better?
I don't know. They both was dope,
Which one was better?
They on the same. They on the same, brother. Like
So what's the difference between 8 and 24?
8 was more so. I'm gonna say this. 8 was a little more immature than 24. 8 was a little more immature than 24. He had a little more athleticism, but in the clutch, he wasn't nothing to play with either. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, it's the same here. Different attributes, but the same. It balances itself out. Because if that was the case, he wouldn't have went to all them championships again when he was with Gasol in them and Odom.
You just gonna disrespect Bynum like that?
I don't have no problem with Bynum. Bynum was lazy.
But Kobe is
Bynum
the one
wasn't
that
trash,
has
brother.
I'm not saying that he was.
He had
I'm not saying that he was.
That they was hitting. You know what I'm saying?
I asked you if you was gonna disrespect Bynum like that. I asked you.
No, but
because Bynum.
But the thing is, the focus was Gasol and Odom. So when with Bynum,
not Kobe.
I'm talking about the role players, Josh. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to be.
You ain't focusing on the role players.
Style here,
you
man.
ain't focusing on the role players.
This the
you
thing.
ain't
Listen,
focusing on the role players.
This the
when
fact.
When you played the Pistons, you ain't looking at like, man, Ben Wallace, he gonna kill this game. No,
right.
You ain't looking at
the paint either. So that's a bad analogy, man.
No.
It's going to the paint on
it's a
Ben
role
Wallace.
player.
The person that you say is your favorite center. You know what I mean?
Right.
No,
yes,
you're not going to the. You're gonna be looking. Oh, I'm not gonna pay attention to Ben Wallace, but I'm gonna slash it. You're gonna think twice about slashing to the paint with Ben Wallace.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You know
and
what
he grabbing all the boards.
You know what to change all that hard talk is
what?
If you go anyway and make him foul you, because he only got 5 to spin. What is it? 6 to spin. So you take 5 licks and you be like, he out. I don't gotta take.
Now you got
more.
Rasheed. Now you got Rasheed to deal with. Now listen,
Sheed ain't nowhere nearly as strong as this dude.
Sheed shut your mans down,
and he plays nowhere nearly.
She gave Dwight Howard all kind of issues. Okay,
that's because Dwight is not a skilled offensive.
I don't want to hear that. No, I'm saying he gave Dwight.
He's
Howard
not skilled. Dwight is not
issues.
skilled. Dwight only knows one game. And that's putting his shoulder in your chest and trying to dunk on.
Listen, Sheed is underrated, underappreciated. But listen,
look, I was just watching Portland versus LA the other day. Sheed missed a lot. You talk about Iverson missing a lot. Sheed missed a lot.
I'm not even going to go into that Iverson talk. The thing is this. Kobe 24 and 8.
If you had the
balances
choice,
itself out.
If you had the choice, which version is you picking?
You can coin flip that. Coin flip it.
Ain't no coin flip.
It.
Ain't no coin flip. If you had the choice and you had the pick, which version is you picking?
24 probably.
Why?
24 Cole.
Why?
Because he can shoot better.
So would you say 24 is better than 8?
He can shoot better.
Would you say 24 is better than 8?
You asked who I would pick. I said they're on the even scale.
Right. But would you
I'm
say
gonna pick the one that shoots
one
better.
has to be better than the other?
No, that don't. Because if I said even is
if you telling me that 8 is the same as 24, then that means he didn't get no better than what he was.
No,
before.
even did you heard what I said? Even is even. Okay, he was more athletic as an 8. He shoots better. You can still have an even attribute there. It's just he can shoot better here and he had more athleticism at 8. I'd rather have the shooter. He shoots better.
Would you say he was smarter at 24?
No, because he still shot with 4 dudes on him, dog. That's not smart basketball.
So there is no better.
He's not a 5-time champion for no reason.
You saying they even?
He's not a 5. Yeah, he is. I mean, just because the athleticism dropped off, he increased his shooting ability, which means it stay here.
So you saying that Gasol and Bynum equal Shaq?
I'm not. What do you mean? Like, as far as what you mean? Like,
what I'm saying is, when he was playing with Shaq,
it's a lot of ways to skin a cat, Josh.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
All I'm saying is this.
The same team don't win.
All I'm saying is this.
It's different styles of champions. You know what I'm saying? It's different styles.
Of course. But there was no different style with Phil Jackson. He was still running a triangle.
So are you saying Kobe ain't nothing without Phil?
There was never no different style.
Where are you getting at? What are you getting at here? So you saying Kobe's not good without the triangle?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is Kobe won his first championships with Shaq being the head. Now, when Shaq left, he won 2 championships being the head, but he had to have those guys.
And who did Shaq have? Who did Shaq have? You had
him.
You had Jason Williams, Antoine Walker, Udonis Haslem, Pat Riley. What are you talking about?
So you know the roster. Congratulations. Good job.
No.
You know the roster.
Like Shaq. Then he went to Phoenix. How many? Hold on.
Hold up.
Nah, we not doing
We all
this.
know Phoenix version of Shaq is version of Shaq
Boston,
to be considered.
Who else he go to?
No version of Boston.
Where did he go when he called himself the Big Cactus? in Phoenix.
You already know that's Phoenix.
Boston didn't
you already
do nothing.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
No, because he was old. He was old.
What do you
Regular
mean?
father time caught up with him.
Reggie Miller was cold when he was old.
I don't know what your definition of cold was, but I don't remember him being super cold. I don't remember Reggie being
his
cold.
Last game, he was giving the Pistons buckets.
Pick and roll, right? Not still not creating on.
Is Reggie an all-time? Is he an all-time great or not?
He's an all-time great shooter.
Don't cap.
He's not. He's an all-time great shooter.
Don't cap.
He's an all-time great shooter. I'll give him that. He's an all-time great shooter. Isolated. Shooter. Ain't got a handle to save his life. His defense is not like that to where you can call him an all-time great.
Yeah, Reggie Miller not an all-time great?
Not defensively.
I didn't say defensively.
That's what I said.
You got some all-time greats not defensive.
You're right. But they can do a whole lot more on the offensive side.
AI not defensive.
But he plays the passing lanes. For some reason, this dude still comes up with two steals a game.
You can have fast hands. He gets two. Out of 48 minutes, 2 steals good. You should be able to do that in the league.
You know how many players don't do that? You know how many players don't do that?
Look here, man. All I'm saying is, Shaq, if you want to be honest about the Diesel,
his best days,
the best version was in Orlando. If anybody that know hoop and watch and look at Shaq in Orlando,
the best physical appearance of Shaq was in Orlando.
Physical appearance.
But the best version of Shaq.
Hold on. What did he improve from? What new moves did he add? If you look at Orlando Shaq and LA Shaq, what new moves? What did he do to improve?
He stayed the same. Drop step and hook shots. That's all he scored his 26,000 points.
Okay, then.
But the difference is he got smarter.
Doing what? He did the same thing, man. He did the same thing.
No.
You look at him in Orlando and LA, he did the same thing. He just couldn't do it no more in Phoenix, and he couldn't do it no more in Orlando.
You mean Boston?
Or you know what I mean, Boston. You know what I mean? Yeah.
See, I'm helping you out. See, but here's the thing.
You know exactly what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. We all know that knowledge, knowing how to play the game better helps out a lot.
Okay, cool. What did he do to?
And then the other thing that helps out is not having to play against Hakeem Olajuwon.
That's not helping the argument, Josh. What did he do to improve, Josh? From Orlando to LA. What did he do to improve?
He's the same player.
Please tell. Okay, then.
So
the better version was in LA.
About Kobe.
No,
you
Kobe
said what
improved.
You said about Kobe.
No. Kobe improved.
No. Kobe made up for what he lost.
That's improvement.
That's not improvement.
That's improvement.
That's not improvement.
That's improvement to keep the scale
balancing out the scale.
That's balancing. You have to work on your game to balance it because your athleticism decreases, and you know that. You know that. Your athleticism
yes, but that doesn't mean that he's better. You just said yourself, 8 and 24. They like this. You couldn't say that 24 was better than 8. You couldn't say that. For some reason, you can't say that.
No, if Shaq developed more post moves and things like that, guess what? He would be more effective with an older age and kept the scale balanced. But it kept going down like this. See, Kobe kept it like this because he kept working on his game. Same thing with MJ. MJ kept it like this. You know what I'm saying? Kept it like this.
MJ got help from the league.
Man, come. Your hatred for MJ got to stop.
No,
it got to stop. It got to stop. It got to stop.
It ain't hatred.
MJ was not trash.
Is it facts or not? What? Is it facts or not?
LeBron got help from the league too. If that's the case, Brian did too. If that's the case, you don't go 9-10 years in a row without help. You don't go 9-10 years in a row without help.
You think so?
We talking about the NBA.
So DeRozan and Kyle Lowry was supposed to beat him?
Hey, listen, the Pacers were supposed to beat him, honestly.
Well, why didn't they?
You tell me.
Why didn't they?
If you mean to tell me the face of the league don't get special treatment, You mean
yes,
to tell me
of
the
course he
face
gets
of the
special
league?
treatment.
So
but you know
the,
how you
was LeBron
but you know how you
face of the
silence
league?
special treatment?
Was
You
LeBron,
know how you silence special
was
treatment?
LeBron? Hold on.
You know how you
Hold
silence
on.
special
Clutch
treatment?
Sports. Hold on.
You know how you silence special treatment?
Hold on.
You
What?
know how you silence special treatment?
You won't answer
You know
the
how
question.
you silence
You
special
won't answer the
treatment?
question.
You know how you silence special treatment?
What is that? You knocked the tablet over.
I ain't knocked it over. It just fell off. But you know how you silence special treatment?
How?
You dominate. You dominate.
Josh. Okay,
You dominate.
So what
you
was
take
Jordan
the
doing? Not
refs out
dominating?
the equation. You take the refs out the equation.
So this Jordan-LeBron debate here, which is ludicrous. This is the thing, right?
I don't care about that stupid
No,
debate.
no, because you're saying things like Jordan got help, like LeBron didn't.
No, what I'm saying is Jordan had a different level of help. He had a different level of help.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
LeBron got the media. Well, not so much now. They trying
Who
to.
made more money for the NBA, Jordan or LeBron?
What do you back in the day and now?
Who made more money for the NBA, Jordan or LeBron?
The dollar different now. Jordan probably did, but then Brian.
Ain't no probably about it. Jordan made more money. Ain't no foreigners. It ain't the same amount of foreigners that was lining up to watch Jordan than there is LeBron. Right. Because Jordan was the first. Jordan was the first guy. What was he? 6'6"? Jump out the gym? In the big man era?
Listen,
Jordan
I'm not
was
even
the
trying
first
to
one.
Listen, you got me over
Air
defending
Jordan.
Brian and all this. Listen.
Air Jordan. Man,
Brian.
Look, I don't care.
Brian,
I don't care for neither one of them.
Brian had the best team outside of that Cleveland team. Outside of the Cleveland team, he had the best teams assembled here. You know
so
what I mean?
Dwayne Wade is better than Scottie Pippen?
What?
Dwayne Wade is better than Scottie Pippen.
Josh, we're not even about to do this.
Is Dwayne Wade better than Scottie Pippen?
No.
No. Oh, so Jordan had the better player.
You over here trying to make an argument that makes absolutely no sense here.
No, that's
I said the better team.
That's the angle you was going with. That's the angle you was going with.
Teams.
That's the angle you was going with. Okay, so let's go with this. Who had the better coach, Jordan or LeBron?
Phil.
All right. Who had the better organization, general manager, owner, Jordan or LeBron?
I don't know about that. The Bulls was on some trash at the end. What are you talking about?
What you mean?
Are you kidding me?
So you're going to discredit what they did for 6 years? Jerry Krause just gets no credit here. Jerry Krause, he get the same disrespect that he got on the Last Dance documentary.
It ain't about that. That's the thing, right? You have this disdain for Jordan. Listen, neither one of them is my favorite guys in the world in the game, but I understand what they brought to the game. See? We're not gonna do this, Josh.
Listen,
we're not doing this, man.
Listen,
like,
look. Jordan was the first international brand that the NBA had.
Why you think Jordan is garbage? You talk like Jordan is garbage.
No,
you do.
You
talk like MJ is garbage.
No, Jordan ain't have no real comp at his era. Jordan ain't had no real comp. He didn't win nothing in the 80s for a reason. And in the 90s.
What was his team in that Bulls team with old George Gervin? You know what I'm saying? And who else?
In the 90s, who's the best two guards that you can think of in the history of this game? Who's the best? The best.
I can only think of a handful.
Okay, well, give me your handful.
So you got to throw MJ in there.
Okay, he's one.
Throw D Wade up in there.
Didn't play against him. Go ahead, come on, keep coming.
T-Mac.
Didn't play against him.
Would you say Kobe is? He's a clone.
Didn't play against him. Didn't play against him.
Who else?
Come
What's
on.
the other two?
Come on, keep on coming.
Clyde the Glide. Is he not all-time 2?
I mean, I thought he was a 3, but you go ahead.
He's listed as a 2 and a 3.
So he's more of a 3. He's more of a 3. He's more of a 3. DeRozan is more of a 2.
Gotta throw the answer in there.
Didn't really play against him at his peak because the answer, he was more of, he came in drafted as, you know what I'm saying?
Jordan did play against these dudes.
Not at their peaks. Not at the best version of it.
Was those not the best? Was those not the best?
And what was Jordan doing with the Wizards?
Jordan dropped 50 on Vince.
Did he win? Did he win the game? Did he win the game? Devin Booker scored 70 and lost. Devin Booker scored 70 and lost.
Jordan
Devin
wasn't trash
scored
with the Wiz,
70
man.
and lost.
He was old MJ, but he wasn't garbage. He was letting y'all know the fundamentals.
Devin Booker scored 70 and lost.
Was Jordan trash with the Wizards?
I'm not saying he was trash, but he was not what he needed to be.
He was effective though, wasn't he?
No, he was not effective. Because they was a losing team.
He wasn't.
They was a losing team.
Is basketball a 5-man game or a 1-man game?
Well, if he would pass the ball,
I'm saying,
if he would pass the reins,
is it a 5-team? Actually, a 12-man team game.
If he would pass the reins over instead of trying to hold on to something that he's not capable of doing anymore. Which is, if you really look at it, he was never capable of doing.
Hey, this guy hates. He don't like
because
MJ.
Jordan didn't start. Jordan didn't start winning until who popped on the scene and started balling out. Jordan didn't start winning until who came on the scene and started balling out.
If you disqualify Jordan, you disqualify Bron. Same thing. So whatever.
What you mean? Bron made it without a top 75 teammate
and got swept.
That's all right. He made it there.
Where did Jordan
go? Where did Jordan go?
He got swept.
In what round?
The finals. Still got swept.
Jordan ain't never made it to the finals.
A ring to show for
Jordan
this?
ain't never made it past
What's the
first
result?
round.
No ring. No ring. You want the trophy,
now it's
right?
all about the ring.
Ain't that what it's about?
If you want to play the politics game, of course, that's what it's about.
It's about the championship, right?
If you want to play the politics game,
second place is the first loser, right?
If you want to play the politics game,
second place is the first loser.
If you want to play the politics game,
when did Bron get his first championship?
With the Heat.
Who was it? Who was his teammates?
Wade and Bosh and what is it? Ray Allen and Udonis.
And who was his coach? The great Eric Spoelstra, right?
He wasn't great then.
So please miss me with this.
No. You getting all the shots here. You getting all the shots here.
Miss
because
me
you
with
need
this.
to recognize who folks was at the time when things was going on.
Miss me with this.
No, it ain't no missing you with nothing.
Because
who was Jordan's teammates? List all of Jordan's teammates right now. Okay,
let's go. Luke Longley, Bill Winnington, Dennis
Don't start from the bottom. Start from the top.
Start
from the top.
Bill Winnington.
He went from Horace Grant to Dennis Rodman. He had Tony Kukoc. He had B.J. Armstrong. Don't give me that nonsense. Jordan folks, man, look.
I've never heard him mention these dudes' names in my life. I have never heard him mention B.J. Armstrong.
Why would he mention them? Why would he mention
Horace Grant? What's your thoughts on Horace Grant? I never heard you say anything positive about Horace Grant.
What you mean? We never talked about Horace Grant.
I've never heard you say anything.
Horace Grant helped Orlando beat him. Horace Grant was an all-star when he wasn't there. So what does that say about Horace Grant? He got skills. If you gave him the ball more, maybe he would have helped you out win more.
So Horace Grant or Chris Bosh, Josh?
Horace Grant, easy. Chris Bosh is overrated. Overrated.
He said Horace Grant married to Chris Bosh. Let
me ask you this.
No, please explain this.
Let me ask you this. If Horace Grant and Chris Bosh was to meet up, where would Chris Bosh get his work at? Because he ain't coming in the paint. Chris Bosh
got the
body to deal with
the Raptors, Chris Bosh?
He was not beating dudes up in the paint.
No. Did you forget about the Raptors? He wasn't beating up Dwight
in the paint.
This the thing. The same thing that happened to Kevin Love happened to Chris Bosh. People tend to forget how cold Chris Bosh was.
In the paint? He was cold like that to you?
Chris Bosh could score in the paint and he could score on the outside.
Against who?
He could do both.
Against who?
Anybody. He was the third option.
Don't say anybody.
Third
because
option
Dwight bounced him out.
No.
Dwight bounced him out. Dwight bounced him out.
Who was on that Raptors team?
Dwight bounced him out. He had enough to get by Orlando. Who was on Orlando? Who was on Orlando?
Y'all had a bunch of shooters over there.
What does that mean? A bunch of shooters.
Didn't you say you like Jameer Nelson? Ain't that your man?
A bunch of role players.
Ain't Jameer Nelson your man?
He got his role players. You got your role players.
Ray Ralston, ain't that your man?
He got his role players.
Rashard Lewis.
You got your role players.
Ain't Rashard Lewis your man?
Why didn't you win?
Ain't Rashard Lewis your man?
Is Chris Bosh more talented than Dwight Howard? In your opinion?
Skills?
Genius?
You just said Dwight Howard don't have no skills.
Is Chris Bosh more talented than Dwight Howard?
Are you seriously ask that question?
Yes, I'm seriously asking you that question.
Because you said
is Chris Bosh?
You said Dwight has no moves. So by default, Chris Bosh has more talent.
So why didn't he win? Why didn't he win?
Because of his team.
No, you ain't falling on that. No, heck no. If you that much better than the White, you can make up the difference. Because it's not like you was working with piss poor talent here. You made the playoffs.
Didn't the Cavs just lose and Boston?
We all know why Boston lost.
I don't want to hear that. Didn't the Cavs and Boston
No. You gon' hear. We all know why Boston lost here.
Better teams lose all the time, right?
Yeah.
Boston had no business losing. I don't care what reason you give. I'm saying they had no business losing. No business at all.
I'm not debating that.
I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean?
I'm not debating that
Don't want to hear it.
I'm not debating that at all.
Chris Bosh is not garbage.
This is the example right here that I was talking about at the beginning of the show. Matt likes to start stuff. He likes to start stuff just to get a response out of you. He almost like the pranking kids that go into the hood and do some crazy stuff to try to get some reaction out of folks.
Nah.
And or you ever watch Beyond Scared Straight? Like trying to get a reaction out of the kids.
Nah, this ain't that. This is the truth.
It ain't the truth.
It's the truth.
You over there capping full hard.
Brian got the same treatment Jordan got.
No, he did not get the same exact.
The fact that they trying to find another face of the league is the reason why he's not getting that same treatment.
Have they found another face of the league?
They searching. It's your man's SGA. The foul master. It's about to be him.
Look,
that guy.
I can care less about LeBron. I can care less about SGA. I can care less about both.
It's about to be SGA.
No, it ain't about how many folks you gonna see walking around.
Who else is gonna be?
It ain't gonna be nobody.
Because I'm gonna tell you this: if SGA is the face of the league, he gonna ruin the game even more than Steph did. Because you're gonna have these kids growing up or coming up wanting to foul bait and be foul merchants. Watch. All they do is mimic the face of the league. That's it.
Listen, look, SGA will not be the face of the league, just like how Jokic was not the face of the league.
Nah, he got a better chance than Jokic.
He can, just because he's black, but he's from Canada.
He got a better chance than Jokic. He got a better chance than Jokic.
What did your boy Kendrick Lamar say? You can't mimic this violence. So pretty much, you can't mimic what goes on in the United States in Canada.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's not the same here.
But that's fine. It's the thing. You know, if Jokic was going to be the face, he would have been the face by now because he got, 2 MVPs?
They don't want him to be the face.
You know what I'm saying? Got a ring. He should have been.
They don't want him to be the face.
They won't even make Luka the face.
They don't want him to be the face either.
All right, then. So who's left?
There's nobody.
There's nobody at this point.
There's nobody.
So the last one standing is
SGA. Nobody.
No, it has to
nobody.
Be. It has to be a face.
There's nobody.
Just like the WNBA.
Ain't nobody walking around wearing SGA jerseys.
Hey, but they need a face. Who's the face of WNBA? It's Caitlin Clark at this point. It's not AJ, it's Caitlin. It's what it is. So the NBA is supposed to be, honestly, but he don't.
Nah, it's supposed to be Ja, but he keep picking up guns.
Ja, he didn't feel like he
bottom tier now.
Now he not up there with them no more as far as the push. Even though Ja got the game that the young dudes like. So,
Let me ask you a question.
What?
If the Pistons can pull Ja, would you take it?
I already told y'all what you asked me before.
What about Ant?
I'm being objective, so Ja don't strike me as somebody who would say something like that on the podium. I'm just only 23. Like I think Detroit. I'm cool with having Ja over Ant-Man, even though Ant my favorite player. I like his game, but I want somebody who's gonna want to win at all times.
I think Ja wants to win. I just think it's off the court.
I'll take Ja. Listen, is Detroit the best spot for him? I don't know about that. Detroit.
Where is a good spot for him?
No, I'm just saying I would take him in Detroit. I mean,
pretty much you saying Ja should be playing in Utah.
No. This is the thing. If we can get, if he was able to get Ja and Amani Bates, that'd be hard right there. You put Ja at the 1, Amani at the 2, and Cade at the 3.
So what's the problem with Cade?
He's not a scorer. He's not a scorer.
Because I feel like the problem with Cade, for one, is that he's not vocal.
Everybody not vocal, dog. Like, that's what it is. Carmelo Anthony not vocal.
Listen, look.
Tracy McGrady not vocal.
Listen, look.
There's only a couple dudes
if you want to
be
the floor general, you have to be vocal. That's part of the job. That's like saying, I want to be a carpenter, but I don't know how to swing a hammer.
That's cool, and I hear you, but I mean, how many vocal leaders it's always the dude that's not the star for the most part. It's always them dudes. No, it's always. I mean, for the most part, how many star dudes that was the vocal leader like that? KG was one. He was vocal. I remember Rajon Rondo was talking about. I seen a clip where he was talking about when he was playing with the Celtics and how he'd be out there at the perimeter and he'd hear somebody yelling, "Oh, right side, left side, oh, da da da." KG directing everything. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a point guard. He was just the voice out there. Everybody not cut like that. Draymond.
Unfortunately,
he's not the best player in the world.
We got a drought of those dudes.
Huh?
Unfortunately, there's a drought of those dudes.
It's not many of them dudes, period. So, I mean, the vocal, Udonis Haslem was the vocal leader in Miami.
Right. Say it again. Say it again loud.
He wasn't even live like that. He wasn't cold like that.
Because Udonis Haslem was my favorite player on the Heat squad.
Why?
Because he did all the dirty work.
So he better than Horace Grant?
No, he's not better than Horace Grant. But when it comes to doing the dirty work, when it comes to hustling for the loose ball, when it comes to putting the other team's big in check.
So you like him better than Ben Wallace?
No. Ben was a different beast.
I mean, Udonis.
Udonis is like messing with the... How can I give him respect?
Because Udonis be talking like he like that. You talk about Kendrick Perkins, Udonis be talking like he was like that.
Because he was, at least in that 15-footer. Udonis scored.
Like that. How? In what way?
What you mean?
In what way?
That 15-footer. And when it comes to rebounding, and he was a much better defender.
Man. If you put Udonis on any other team, dog.
You ain't watch. I
watched. No, I watched.
No, you didn't. You did not watch.
He stayed with Miami.
Where did Udonis score a whole lot of his points?
Elbow around the dotted line area. That's it. The top of the mid-range, dog. Listen, man, that's where he shot at.
No. He was at the side. He was at the side of the hoop. The side of the hoop.
He was a mid-range guy.
15-footer all day long. And he didn't miss.
What does that mean, Josh? Okay, you can make the 15.
The right side and the left side. That's where he was at.
Salute. Cool.
That's better than Kendrick Perkins. That's better than Kendrick Perkins. And he rebounded the ball better than Kendrick Perkins. Do you trust
Udonis Haslem outside of a Heat jersey, dog?
Yeah, of course. Because anybody that got the internals, and then on top of that, he
wasn't a product of his environment?
No. He would have did that anywhere. If they would have had him play that role, he would have did that anywhere. Because he showed you more times than enough that wasn't no fluke. He was a better defender than Chris Bosh. Tell you that much. Dirk Nowitzki had a harder time scoring on him than he had on Chris Bosh.
Did Dirk Nowitzki cook it? He did not. What is that? What are you talking about?
He cooked Chris Bosh.
Dirk Nowitzki was cooking the whole heat, man.
No, he wasn't cooking
the whole heat.
He was not cooking Udonis Haslem. Go back and look at the film. Heat. I watched this. I watched this. Don't go by your fable memories.
No, it's no fable memories.
Don't go by your fable memories.
Udonis also, what you said, contesting shots was stopping Dirk. He was still busting Udonis Haslem behind, dude.
No, he was not busting Udonis Haslem behind. He was busting Chris Bosh behind, like how Diddy was busting Meek Mills behind.
Bam. Dude, Dirk cooked them. He had a legendary finals against them dudes, man. Are you kidding me?
Because they put Bosh on Dirk.
Oh, my goodness, man.
They put Bosh on Dirk.
That's that Hypnotic and Henny.
No.
that's that Hypnotic and Henny.
They put Bosh on Dirk. And Bosh don't got no defense like that. Bosh ain't got no defense.
Bruh.
Udonis got more defense than him.
But listen, man. Dirk,
Jermaine O'Neal. Him and Jermaine O'Neal. He was ready to get at Jermaine O'Neal too. And Jermaine O'Neal, I love Jermaine O'Neal. But Bosh, what did he do when they won a championship? He had the zesty, what was it? The champagne pop. He had the zesty champagne pop.
Pause.
Yes, pause for real. Because he looked a real suspect on that.
So, let me see here. Because this is crazy. All right. So, Udonis Haslem.
Don't bring up no stats.
Nah. Forget all. Nah. You want to sit there and big up some Udonis Haslem? You know what I mean? Cool. We can big up Udonis Haslem. 2006 NBA Finals versus Miami Heat. Okay?
You know what that stat doesn't say? That stat sheet doesn't say who was guarding who. That stat sheet doesn't say that. So you can recite, you can sing it, you can rap it, you can make a lyric off of that. I don't care. It doesn't say who was guarding who. We all know Chris Bosh was starting, and he was getting most of the minutes.
I want to hear that, dog. Like, nah, we not about to skate past this, brother.
No, it ain't no way in the world.
So let's
listen.
No.
Let me ask you this.
You want to sit there and gas up? You want to gas up Udonis Haslem, dog?
Defensively over Chris Bosh? Yes, I'll do that all day, every day. If you don't, then you didn't watch the NBA.
Dirk doing. Who won a championship, man?
There you go, being a casual fan, just looking at the final result.
Dirk Nowitzki is one of the great fours to play the game, and you mean to tell me Udonis Haslem is going to stop him? He's not.
No, I never said stop.
He didn't.
I
don't care.
Stop.
If you can contest it all you want. The ball going into the net, man. It
never
don't matter.
Said stop.
Don't matter.
But you can limit what somebody can do.
What did he limit?
Can you agree with that? He wasn't driving to the lane.
Was he stopping the one leg fade?
He wasn't driving to the lane.
Was he stopping the one leg fade? Was he stopping
Nobody stops that.
Okay then. So
nobody stops that.
Then. He was obsolete.
That's like an offensive foul in a way. If you was to really think about it, you using your leg to push the defender away from you. That's an offensive foul, ain't it? Ain't it? No. You sober, right? Answer the question. Is it not an offensive foul to push the defender away?
In what way? If you putting the leg up and they can't get to you, that's not pushing them away.
That's an offensive foul, ain't it?
If you put the leg up and that shields them, that's defense on offense.
Yeah, that sounds like a foul to me. So
if you
let's move on to the next point.
Let's
move on to the next point. Because we want to make all of these all of these allowances for offense, but we don't want to get a defense nothing.
If you got the W, what does that mean?
That's these fruitcake mentality stuff. We want to allow everything for offense, but the defense can't do nothing. The defense can't do nothing.
If you did not get the win, what does that mean? If Dirk still hosts that championship, what does that mean?
What does that mean for Chris Webber?
What does that mean?
What does that mean for Chris Webber and the Sacramento Kings?
Why
Should
would
we
you say
just bypass that?
You talking about phantom calls?
Forget that. No, they didn't get the win.
Calls.
It's just like you said. It's just like you said.
I didn't see phantom calls in that series. I seen phantom calls with the Lakers.
They did not get the win. I don't care. They did not get the win. Chris Webber is overrated then, right? No. He's not a champion. He's not capable of doing this. He's not capable of doing that because he didn't get the win.
No, we know sometimes things just facts, Josh. No, we know they got cheated.
Don't twist it. Don't twist it.
Did the Heat get cheated with the Dallas? No. They were supposed to win the championship. They didn't want Dallas to win, except Dirk just like, nah, we about to win this. Y'all lost to Jason Kidd, Dirk, Sean Marion.
Who's y'all?
I'm saying Miami.
Who's y'all?
You holding the cape up.
I ain't holding the cape up for Miami. I'm just talking about Udonis Haslem.
You holding the cape up. Udonis Haslem.
Let me ask you this. If they was to throw hands, who wins? Udonis or Dirk?
What does that have to do with anything?
Udonis or Dirk? Udonis or Dirk?
See what happens when people lose? They want to get the violence. This ain't about that. It's about cooking folks.
Nah, because the NBA is not real basketball. Would you agree?
No. The
NBA is not real basketball. Would you agree?
Of course not in today's game. The real basketball was in the 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, but it started back then. When you allowed Jordan to get all this special treatment, it trickled down. It went to Kobe first. With that, under the hand, whenever the defender would have his hand out like this, and Kobe would go under the hand.
We're not gonna act like this is some Shea stuff. That's called strategy.
No,
because I've seen
it ain't
that.
Strategy.
I've seen that be taught. If you know high level basketball,
it ain't strategy. It ain't strategy because you ain't getting that call on the streets where the basketball was made at.
Guess what?
You ain't getting that call on the streets.
On the streets, checks is not involved. Coach is not involved. Production is not involved. So we're not doing this.
Listen, look, dog. Look, at the end of the day,
business is not involved on the streets.
The NBA as a whole, there's a whole lot that happens in the NBA that won't happen in the street.
Right. That's why it's the street, and that's the NBA. And guess what? But
the NBA,
they want to go to the NBA.
I mean, but what's the realest version of basketball to you?
What's the realest version?
What's the realest version of basketball to
you?
The NBA or the Euro leagues?
The Euro League.
Oh, dang. So,
but they play physical.
Forget the NBA. Kick them out the curb.
No, I didn't say that, but it definitely ain't the streets. It definitely ain't the streets because they travel, foul, and everything. You know, they like to bend the rules for their benefit. You know that, so we're not doing that.
Of course, they do. Of course, they do. They do.
So the streets, I mean, you can carry and all kind of stuff in the streets. No 3 in the key, no out of bounds, no backcourt. You got, you know what I mean? Like, so.
But it's like Wilt Chamberlain said. If they don't change the rules for you to where they trying to make you lose, if they ain't changing the rules to try to make you lose, then your greatness is limited.
For who?
For a lot of players.
Did they change the rules for Brian?
To make him lose or win? They didn't do neither. But they changed the rules for Jordan so he can win. We got testimonies.
Your hatred for Jordan need to be documented.
We got. No, you gonna tell me that I'm lying when
Jordan
there's reports?
And Jordan not even my favorite player.
Hold up, fam. Because you got Jordan on your phone over your wife. So let me do this.
There's no Jordan on my phone, brother.
Listen, look here. Couldn't nobody see that. All I seen was still the Midwest
Right,
whatever.
it's some artwork I made. It's not no Jordan. You capping
Listen.
If you talk about some stuff from 2011, first of all, listen, my wife is not on my phone anyway. Why? You know what I'm saying? My wife is on my neck. I don't need to put her on my phone. She on my neck. And it's legally documented that I'm married to her. And I have a ring. I don't need her on my phone. She know what it is.
Hey, audience, tell me what that means.
What it means is I'm married to her and her name is on my neck. She's broadcasted daily. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to open the screen. You see it right on my neck. That defeats all.
No, it doesn't. It does. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, I'm kind of with you whenever we with them, but like amongst us two, it really doesn't.
No, it's the really same everywhere. You can't be flip-flopping. Her name is on my neck, ring on the hand. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, look, I
don't need to put her on the phone.
We know how the rest
of
on
my
world.
phone.
You want to call her?
Huh?
You want to call her and get her opinion on this?
She don't care about being on my phone.
She don't?
She would think I did something wrong if I did that, because I never put her on my phone.
Well, I mean, because at that point, it's abnormal behavior.
Like, what you do? You know what I'm saying? I change my things all the time, but guess what? Her name been on my neck the whole time, so if anybody see me and they look on the neck like, oh, who's that? My wife. Oh, all right.
I mean,
that's my way of doing things. You know, so if you want, if y'all want to put y'all, hey, you can put your wife on the phone if you don't want to. That's not what I do though.
I just slide my phone to my wife, dog. I just let her do whatever she want to do with it.
You know what I'm saying? I put whatever design I want on my phone. You know what I'm saying?
I just slide my phone to my wife and be like, here, you pick the picture.
You know what I'm saying?
Pick the picture.
I switch up my backgrounds like the seasons. I put album covers on it. I put designs, all that stuff I make. It is what it is. I don't even post, look, on my Instagram, it's never promo. I don't be posting pictures. I know who my wife is. You know what
your Instagram is not about your family life.
You know what I mean? I know, but some people post all that. I don't never post that. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm not posting that stuff.
My wife, listen.
I don't post nothing about me.
It's legally documented who I'm married to. Legally, you can look that up. You know what I'm saying? So it's, hey.
Yeah, but that don't mean nothing in this day and age. So that doesn't gain you no ground here.
What you mean? It's legally documented.
How many divorces happen?
Yeah, and it's gonna be a problem. So it's gonna mean something.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't gain you no ground to say it's legally documented. Like, you don't earn nothing by saying that. You don't earn nothing by saying
commitment. You don't earn nothing off commitment.
No, because commitment is just words. It's just like
action.
Kids.
No, it's an action.
I've
been actively committed. You know what I'm
saying? Nah. In this era,
I don't care what they own. I'm talking about what the vows I took.
Yeah, but the world don't operate on the vows you took. The world operates on the vows that's current.
Hey, man.
Like, look. I mean, look. Let's just use college football as an example. Let's just use college football as an example. Athletes commit to schools all the time, but then they decommit and they recommit to another school.
There's no legal document.
And hold up, and then they'll sign the letter. They'll sign the letter that says that they'll be with this university for X amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
But then they transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't mean anything to say commit. It doesn't mean anything to say commit, at least in that word. It doesn't mean anything to say commit, because you can have so many athletes commit to your school 1 year, and then some of them same athletes will be in the transfer portal the next year.
Okay, Josh, you committed to your wife, ain't you?
I'm fully committed.
So what everybody else think. You know,
but you know,
right?
But you know,
right?
But you know, like, actions speak louder than the words.
Who cares what they think? As long as you commit to your vows, who cares what the world thinks, right?
Oh, well, see, my thing is my actions is gonna speak. You don't have to listen to what I'm gonna say about it. You can just look and see what I'm gonna do about it.
So what the world got to do with this?
I could care less.
All right then. So why you mention the world then?
I'm just using it as an example.
Why you mention the world thing? They don't matter.
Like, I'm just using it as an example.
I've been with my wife for almost 20 years, if not 20. So, and I've been rocking it out. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I bet.
She's not about to trip about her picture being on the
hand
phone.
Claps. You need ad-libs. You need ad-libs for this podcast.
Why?
For the podcast. Like, you need to have some background noise going on whenever certain things happen.
All I'm saying is this. I don't need her on the phone.
Listen, look. I'm just saying you need like some kind of like you need those kind of things that you see on like other like
the claps and all that.
The hand claps, applause, or whenever you say a dope point that can't be combated against. Whoa. And like you gotta have like that reaction to it. That's that you can put.
I have to have a soundboard for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what's going on with that? Like, do we need to get one of those?
I probably got to figure out how to do that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like I said.
Well, look, you tell me the price and we split that mug in half.
Yeah, we figured that out. Like I said, the thing is, I've been with mine. So all the new world, how y'all view things, I don't care. I was with my wife in the gutter. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had nothing and built up to something. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? So
I bet. So we come to a unanimous conclusion. Jordan is overrated.
You said he overrated.
You said
he overrated. I never said. I feel like Jordan. Listen, Jordan and Kobe is the same dude to me. People say Jordan can't play in today's game, but Kobe can. How does this make sense if he stole everything from him?
I never heard that before. Personally.
No, they talk about.
I never heard that before.
This new era. No. Kobe took his moves, every move. You know what I'm saying? Every single move he took. So Jordan, if prime Jordan would still do dirt in this league, why? Because Kobe's a 5-time champion, been in the finals 7 times.
Well, it's just
why wouldn't Jordan be able to do it?
Well, it's just like some other folks said. I forgot who it was that said it. But the difference is Jordan played in the era where he had no competition at his position. In this era, there's competition at his position.
Okay,
at the guard spot. So that would mean that doesn't mean that Jordan wouldn't kill it in this era. But that just means that Jordan wouldn't be the only killer in this era. Okay,
Kobe went to 7 finals. 7.
Kobe went to, look, let's not overrate that. Listen, look, let's only count the ones that he went to when he was the top dog. If you want to be completely honest.
You going to disregard?
Yes.
I don't see how with this.
Yes.
So why won't you disregard Shaq's then?
What you mean? We going to disregard Shaq's 4th one.
No, disregard the ones with LA too. He had Kobe with him.
No, Shaq was the top dog. Shaq was the number one.
What did Kobe say? I got this, big fella.
Relax. But he was the number one.
What did he tell Shaq? I got
Let me ask you. Let me ask you. Who was the number one on that team? Shaq or Kobe?
It don't matter because guess what Kobe told
Yes,
him?
It do matter. It do matter.
He said, I got this, big fella.
It do matter.
What happened when Shaq fouled out? What happened when Shaq fouled out?
He did what he was supposed to do, have his back.
So if Kobe wasn't there, they would have lost, right?
Correct.
All right, then.
But if Paul Gasol wasn't there, Kobe would have never even made it that far.
Is it I or team?
Don't try to flip the same point to try to make yours make sense. No. You don't get that luxury here.
It's not a luxury. Facts is facts.
No.
How many people on the roster?
Because you want to twist it to make your point, but you also want to twist it to go against the one that you don't want to go against.
But how many people on the roster, though?
15.
Okay. It's not just Shaq, right?
It's never been just one player.
Oh, okay.
Just like it's never been just Kobe. But we all know every team got a top dog. And Kobe, for 3 of his rings, for 3 out of the 5 of the rings that he got, majority. Just in case if y'all don't know, 3 is more than half than 5. for majority of his rings that he got, there was somebody on his team that the other team was worried about more than him. It doesn't take away from Kobe's talent.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Did it take away from Bron?
What you mean? Does it take away from Bron?
Bron had Wade. You mean
hold on. No, stop right there. Stop right there.
Was teams not worried about Wade?
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Was teams not worried about Wade?
Hold up. Let me ask you this question.
No.
What did Dwayne Wade himself say? What did Dwayne Wade himself say?
He had to instill confidence in LeBron.
No, he ain't instill no confidence. He ain't instill no confidence.
He had to instill confidence.
Nah.
He had to instill confidence in him.
No. What was Dwayne Wade's words exactly?
What? That he had to
pass the reins.
He had to put the battery in his back.
No, that's not what he said. He said that he had to pass the reins to LeBron because he knew that LeBron was going to take them as far as they was going to go.
Would you not pass the reins to 6'9", 2'8", 260?
Not if I'm the dog. Not if I'm the dog. 6'9", 260 can kiss my behind.
Did D-Wade prove that he can win a championship already?
Look at his squad. Look at that squad.
He was doing all the dirt for the most part.
Oh yeah, but you know it's easier to play the game when you got 4 other guys on the court that know how to play.
Wasn't that team like equivalent to like the Lakers 04? They was all old.
Nah, it wasn't equivalent to
They was all old, dog.
No, Udonis Haslem was young at that time.
You had Twan Walker. You had Jason Williams. You had Gary Payton. You had Shaquille O'Neal. Dog, are you kidding me? Udonis Haslem wasn't starting? You had Alonzo Mourning.
Yes, he was. He was starting. That's just facts right there. Folks, you hear right here that he did not watch.
He was starting over Twan?
Yes.
Nah.
Yes. Twan was 6-man.
But doing more damage? That's crazy.
You said starting.
That's crazy.
We all know Antoine Walker offensively is capable of more than Udonis Haslem. But there's a reason why Antoine Walker can only thrive in that role.
We're not going to act like Antoine Walker is not nice, bro.
We're not going to act like we're going to run from the truth either.
What's the truth?
Antoine Walker is just a scorer. That's all he is. He doesn't contribute nothing else to the game.
The cover athlete in Live 99 was official.
Let me ask you this question.
What?
Is Antoine an elite passer?
What power forward is?
Your face says it all. Thank you.
What power forward
is Antoine Walker a good rebounder?
No.
Your face says it all. Thank you again. Is Antoine Walker an elite defender? Or is he even considered good? So Antoine Walker is a one-way only player.
So Josh said prime Antoine, he'll take Udonis Haslem over prime Antoine Walker. That's what he said, y'all.
That's not what I said.
That's what you said. That's what you said, man.
But I'll take the overall impact over just one dimension. I'll take the overall impact over just one dimension. We've seen how that works out.
So who's more impactful, Draymond Green or Udonis?
Udonis. Draymond is only good and impactful.
He's from the South, so understand this, y'all. He's from the South.
Look.
So
let me let y'all understand something.
He is from Florida, so I want y'all to know this.
If Draymond wasn't passing to Steph or passing to Clay, who would he be?
What do you mean?
What you mean? What I mean? I said exactly what I meant.
He'd be a coach on the floor.
If Draymond wasn't passing to Steph or to Clay, who would he be?
a vocal leader that runs the offense like he does now.
The offense is designed for Steph. So we don't know if he can really truly run an offense outside of having them two. Or at least him. We don't know that. He hasn't proven that. He hasn't shown that he can do that. Not at this level. He hasn't shown that. He has Steph as a teammate his whole career.
Listen, man.
He doesn't know what it's like to not have a guy that plays off ball, running around 5 to 6 screens per offensive possession.
So you
and give him the ball.
That?
I'm not charging him for that. But the facts is the facts. Numbers don't lie, right? But they don't tell the whole truth.
Who's the better player to you? Draymond or Udonis Haslem?
Udonis Haslem.
Hey, y'all. He poured a lot of that Hypnotic. Mind you, he mixed Hypnotic with Hennessy. I don't know if there was water involved in this. You know what I'm saying? He said Udonis Haslem is better than Draymond Green. All right.
I ain't stutter neither.
Okay.
I ain't stutter.
Right.
I ain't stutter neither.
He said Udonis Haslem.
Give Udonis 2 players better than him. And you give him...
Who's the Hall of Fame player here? I just want to know that. Who's the Hall of Fame player?
Is Draymond a Hall of Fame player to you?
You told me he's Hall of Fame. You said
No. I'm asking you. Is Draymond a Hall of Fame player?
If you answer this question, listen.
Is Draymond a Hall of Fame
player? By default,
he's
going to the Hall of Fame. Is Udonis going?
Yeah, because the basketball Hall of Fame.
Is Udonis Haslem going to the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. He got the rings to prove it. He got 3 of them mugs. He got 3 of them mugs.
Is Udonis Haslem going to the Hall of Fame?
Look, I'm gonna tell you like this: if Udonis ain't getting in, Draymond don't need to get in either.
Really?
Yes.
Draymond has a bigger impact. Draymond can run the offense. Udonis can't do that.
That's because Udonis plays
better on-ball defense than Udonis Haslem.
How you gonna complain about something that
Draymond can play in the perimeter?
Later?
Can Udonis guard perimeter players?
What you mean Draymond can play in the perimeter?
Can Udonis guard perimeter players?
Draymond can't neither.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Who's a perimeter player that he can guard? Who's a perimeter player that Draymond can guard?
Nowadays, he can't. Prime Draymond, he can. I can't say that about Udonis. You not guarding nobody outside in the 3-point line with Udonis, brother. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. You know what I'm saying? This is a Florida guy here. You know, mind you, this dude is from Florida, so you gotta understand. You gotta take some of this with a grain of salt here.
And this dude is from Michigan, and so he gonna try to over big up anybody from Michigan.
I don't do that. I don't big up Jay Rich.
Yes, you do.
I don't big up Jay Rich.
Yes, you do. They can look up any other old podcast and hear you say, he's from Michigan, so we got to big him up.
When have I bigged up Jay Rich?
You bigged up anybody from Michigan. Anybody. Just say they from Michigan. You'd be like, oh, yeah, he official.
False. But all right. You know what I'm saying?
That's not false. That's not false. Look, if y'all want to know the facts of this, just go listen to other podcasts and you'll get your answer.
Look here, man.
Notice how he ain't saying nothing after that.
No, this is cat.
Just go listen to other podcasts in the past that we did, and he just rolls it out.
I'm trying to
rolls it out.
No, I'm trying to understand how Udonis at any level is better than Draymond Green. I'm trying to understand that.
Because he can score. Draymond be missing layups. No, not consistently. No, because he be missing layups.
Wasn't he draining threes all through the finals?
Nope. Nope.
He was.
The answer is nope. He can have one game. He can have one game.
Exactly. Did Udonis do that?
Udonis made his shots all throughout. It wasn't just one game. It wasn't just one game.
I've never seen a lawyer for Udonis Haslem ever.
That's all right. Look, listen. Look,
he acting like Udonis is all world.
Udonis ain't all world, but neither is Draymond Green. Neither is Draymond. If Draymond played in the 2000s, what position would he be playing? Power forward or small forward?
The 3.
Exactly. He wouldn't be able to hang. He wouldn't be able to hang in that era. But you know who did? Udonis Haslem. He guarded the Jermaine O'Neal. He guarded the Amari Stoudemire.
What did he
guarded
do?
the Kenyon
And what
Martin.
did he do? What was the effect?
Tim
No.
Duncan.
What did he do?
Guarded he guarded the Kevin Garnett. He guarded the Tim
y'all hear this? Him getting so you volunteered to get cooked. All right, cool, no doubt. What was he doing to Tim Duncan? What was he doing to Jermaine O'Neal? What was he doing to any of these dudes?
He was doing better than Chris Bosh. Better than Chris Bosh and better than what Draymond would do.
So Udonis can shut down Tim Duncan.
Shut down? Where'd you get shut down from?
You said he. So Udonis. Wait.
I said that he was guarding. Listen, he took his video off. He took his video off.
No,
he took his video off. He took his video off. He don't want to be seen while he's saying some insane stuff.
No, I'm typing.
That's exactly what he doing.
No. I'm typing.
Nah. You know what you're doing.
No,
you know exactly what you doing.
So
know exactly what you doing.
Udonis Haslem
ain't no locking down nothing. Not in this day and age.
No. You keep mentioning Udonis, so he's slowing down Tim Duncan.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. He gonna. When it comes to defense,
he's slowing down Tim Duncan.
Nah. I'm gonna tell you one thing. He can do more defensively than what Draymond can do against Tim Duncan.
Is he slowing down Tim Duncan or not?
He can do more defensively than Draymond.
Yes or no, man. Yes or
no.
He
can do more defensively than Draymond.
He won't answer it, man. He's slowing down Jermaine O'Neal.
He does more against Tim Duncan than Draymond can do.
He won't answer the question. He talking about me not answering questions. Is he shutting down Kevin Garnett?
He does more than Draymond Green.
Yay or nay, man?
He does more than Draymond Green.
Yay or nay?
He does more than Draymond Green. My answer ain't changing.
He won't answer the question. He over here throwing up capes for him, but he won't say against the great force he's obsolete. You could be in their face all they want. If the ball go on the hole, it don't matter.
Listen, look, dog.
If I break through the guard, I don't care if it's the Philly shell, whatever type of defense you got. If I still pop you with the jab, I pop you with the jab.
You know
means nothing.
You know what's one of the biggest differences between them two?
What?
Draymond Green pick and choose when he want to be tough. Draymond Green pick and choose when he want to be tough. Cause you seen when it came time for him and Ron Artest, he didn't do nothing. When it came time for him and some other players, he's real selective about who he chooses to do that. Udonis don't care.
What does that mean?
What that means is you're going to get a more consistent product with Udonis than you is going to get with Draymond. Because Draymond is only going to be that with certain type of dudes. That's exactly what that means. And y'all hear that pause of quiet? Y'all hear that pause of quiet?
That's
facts being proven.
That's not facts.
That is facts. And you know it too. You just don't want to go against Michigan. So, it is what it is.
It ain't about Michigan.
This fight is already fixed, y'all. So I don't know why he's trying to egg this on, because he's going to be Michigan all day long, which is, look, I have no problem with Michigan. I love Michigan. I live in Michigan. It doesn't bother me. But to say that about him versus Udonis, look, dog.
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to.
It's either you watch the game or you don't. Either you watch the game or you don't. Because what would Draymond Green's career be without Steph and Clay? What would it be? Literally, I'm genuinely asking that question. What would it be without?
I'm saying what I'm saying because I watch.
What would it be without Steph and Clay? Because when he came into the league, there was still real point guards that was around. So how many other teams was going to allow him to run the offense versus the Golden State? Because Steph don't run the offense.
The thing is, I'm saying what I'm saying because I watch. That's the thing here.
No.
So the thing is, if I'm
who else was going to do that for him? Who else? Who else was going to do that for him? The Spurs already have Boris Diaw, so you can't take that spot.
Boris Diaw. You really mentioned Boris Diaw?
Is he not more skilled than Draymond? Defensively, he's not the same player. That's fine. But offensively, they in two different atmospheres.
This brother said Boris Diaw.
Hey,
he said Boris Diaw.
It's either you watch the game or you don't.
No.
It's either you watch the game or you don't.
Just because you watch it at a certain angle, that don't mean other people don't watch.
It's either you watch the game or you don't.
That's the thing.
It's either you watch the game or you don't. Like, there are certain things that's very simple. Like, when you look in that football tape, if you see an offensive lineman that wins every block, you can say to yourself, oh, he's a pretty good blocker, correct? But if you see an offensive lineman that loses every block, you can say he's a bad blocker. Pretty easy, right?
Okay.
So it's either you watch the game or you don't.
Just because you see it at a certain lens,
listen,
that's why there's this thing called opinions. And your opinion is not law. Your opinion is not law. And you know that. Yeah, your opinion ain't the law, fam.
What did I say at the beginning? Matt just likes to do this.
I don't
listen. Look, Matt was that dude in high school that he would see two dudes arguing and he would run up to one of them and be like, "Look, I heard him say your mama."
Nah, ain't that.
That was Matt all day long. I'm fully convinced. That was Matt all day long.
Definitely
Matt would like try to add fuel to the fire so he could see a fight.
Nah.
Yeah. That's Matt.
Definitely
That's Matt.
Definitely not. What I was kicking is real.
Nah, I don't know about all of that, but definitely not. So we strayed again, like as we usually do. Look, y'all. You want to do this NFC North?
Go ahead.
All right, so the NFC North. We switching to football. We talking about off-season additions and what that means for the team. All right. So NFC North, the rival division of the Detroit Lions. We're going to save them for last. All right. We're going to save the best for last. And it kind of works in operation because the Detroit Lions was the best team in the NFC North. All right. So we're going to start with the worst team in that division, the Chicago Bears. All right. The Chicago Bears.
He got the lead here, so I'm listening.
The Chicago Bears. They off-season acquisitions goes as follows. Oyingo.
Who?
He got one of them names.
Okay.
All right. Grady Jarrett from the Falcons. Drew Delman from the Falcons also. Durham Smythe from the Dolphins. Case Keenum from the Houston Texans. Travis Homer, they was able to keep him in-house. Oludare Zaccheaus, wide receiver. They was able to get him from wide receiver from Washington. They was able to keep Scott Daly. Devin Duvernay, special teams guy from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nick McLeod, cornerback from the 49ers. Travis Moore, they was able to keep him in-house. Nashawn Wright, they was able to get him from Minnesota. And Stefan Carlson and Doug Kramer, they was able to keep in-house. So there was nothing really impactful that happened here from their off-season free agency. But when you look at their draft, I'm pulling up their stuff right now. We know that their first round pick was Michigan's own, or at least Michigan Wolverines own tight end. It was Colston Loveland, who is a dirty work tight end, but also a receiving threat. He's probably the best run blocker in this draft. Probably the best run blocker in this draft. And then they second round picks, they had 3 of them joints. But the biggest name was Luther Burden, who had first round pick height. Slot potential wide receiver here. Luther Burden. Then Ozzie Trapilo, offensive tackle from Boston College. Shamar Turner, defensive tackle from Texas A&M. Good pick there. Ruben Hypolite II, linebacker from Maryland. Zach Frazier, cornerback from UTSA. Luke Newman, offensive tackle from Michigan State. Shout out to Michigan State because that's Matt's school. And Kyle Monogany, running back from Rutgers. So when we look at the Chicago Bears depth chart here, it is as follows. Quarterback, Caleb Williams, first round overall pick from last year's draft. Running back, DeAndre Swift, solid running back, productive running back. Number 1 wide receiver, DJ Moore. Number 2 wide receiver last year's, also a first round pick, Roma Duze, because Chicago had 2 of them. Luther Burden has already taken the slot spot. Then tight end Cole Kmet, which means Colston Loveland is not even starting. So you can expect a whole lot of 2 tight end sets to come out of this. And they offensive line, Braxton Jones, left tackle, Joe Thuney, left guard, Drew Delman, center, Jonah Jackson, former Detroit Lion, starting at right guard. And then Darnell Wright, first round pick from about 3 years ago from Tennessee at right tackle. That's what the offense looks like. Defensively, Montez Sweat at the left side. Grady Jarrett, free agent acquisition. We talked about him. Grayvon Dexter, young player developing from out of Florida Gators. Nobody cares about them. And then Dayo Odeyongbo, free agent acquisition. Then Tremaine Edwards, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds. I'm sorry, I said his name all kind of wrong. TJ Edwards at middle linebacker, and then strong side linebacker Ruben Hypolite II. Then one of my favorite corners in the game, Jalen Johnson. Strong safety Jaquan Brisker. Kevin Bynard at free safety, Tariq Stevenson at the other right side corner, and Kyle Gordon at the nickelback. Looking at this team offensively, they could be scary. Because to have those 2 tight end sets, especially with Colston Loveland, they can run the ball to his side a lot. But he's also a deadly receiving option. But when you get Luther Burden and you still building on Roma Dunze with DJ Moore, and then on top of that, you get offensive coordinator Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions. And he brought with him Antoine Randall, wide receivers coach that was on the Detroit Lions staff last couple of years. He brought with him Antoine Randall, Pittsburgh Steelers great that's coaching up this wide receivers roster. The
coaches.
Man, look, Chicago got potentially because this ain't nothing for sure here. Even that depth chart is not for sure. Mm-hmm. But it's nothing for sure here. When you look at this roster, I'm not saying nothing scares me, but there's a lot of solid around. And there's a lot of talent there that if I slip on my job as a defensive coordinator, as a cornerback, as an edge rusher, as an interior rusher, as a linebacker, safety, if I slip on my job, things could potentially get taken advantage of. Not saying that they can go so far to where I can't rebound from it, but there's enough talent here offensively on this roster that makes me feel like they have potential to put up a lot of points here. Potential. That doesn't mean that they're going to fulfill it this season. But potential means that they could be a 30-plus point scoring team easily in the future.
That don't sound like a team that you want to play with.
No, it's not a team that you want to play with. But the good thing is defensively, there's nothing to wow here. Outside of Jalen Johnson, there's nothing that wows you about their defense.
Would you say it's hard to score in the NFL? I mean, if you're able to put up that many points per game.
It's not hard to score in the NFL anymore. Because they changed the rules so much to where they lopsided towards the offense. And when you lopside things one way, then, essentially you making it harder for the defense to be who they are, but also you making it harder for your offense to be effective against good defenses. Because they don't practice against what a real defense is. So they don't really know what that experience is like until they play against them. Unless they already got one on their team. Then it could be a little bit different there. But when I was looking at their schedule, and said to myself, they got 7 games that they should win. Everything else is like, they got 6 division games, which is like, division games is always a toss-up because you know each other better than the rest of the league.
Yeah, I mean, the division, listen, I told somebody this other day, it don't really matter about, and I was talking about boxing, styles make fights, and that's in sports too. A team, it don't really matter about your record and your status. If a team got your number, they just got your number.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. So, I mean, a whole lot of that reality is lived through your division opponents. And the fact that they still have not overcame their division opponents, they will have to show to me that they can for me to believe. But this is a team that you don't want to like mess around with. Like if you can get out in front of them, don't mess around with it. There's no need to. You're not doing yourself any favors by prolonging this.
Yeah.
But when I remember looking at their schedule, it was about 7 games that they should win. And then 6 games that's toss-ups. And I think it was like 4 wins, 4 games where I feel like they should lose. So this is a team that could still be at the bottom of the division.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're able to score like that, you can still win on any given night, though.
Well, that's all dependent on what Ben Johnson can get out of this offense. because he's got the weapons. He's loaded. He's loaded.
So
he's loaded.
So would it be a fireable offense if he don't make nothing happen this year?
No.
Not
on 1 year.
Loaded?
Not on 1 year. He's loaded with potential. He's not loaded with proof.
Okay.
Two different things. Loaded with potential, but not loaded with proven. So the Bears could be like, they could be anywhere between 7-10 and 10-5. Or we got an extra game on the schedule now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they could be 11-5.
When they implemented that? Hold on, when did they implement that?
Well, they changed it from 16 games to 17 games a long time ago.
It's been like that, never mind. True.
So
I thought they were trying to push it to 18. You know what I'm saying?
They very well may be trying to push it to that, but the thing is, if they push it to that, then they gotta pay the players a little bit more. Because right now their salaries is based on the game schedule that they got to deal with.
Okay.
So, but anyway, but moving on to the Green Bay Packers. I know you don't like the cheeseheads. You don't like the cheeseheads. Nah. You don't care for them. Nah. How do you feel about cheeseheads?
I don't like them. I don't like them on the Vikings. I could tolerate the Bears. They feel like cousins. Even the Browns feel like cousins. But the Packers and the Vikings, nah, man. Nah. I used to hate the Oilers back in the day, though. For whatever reason, I hated the Oilers.
Houston?
I hated the Oilers, dog.
And then they moved to Tennessee and became the Titans?
I don't know why I hated the Oilers so much. I hated the Oilers. Maybe it's their Patriot look, but I hated the Oilers.
Gotcha.
Remember they had that logo with like the Patriot looking dude, which to me was like, hold on, they got a Patriot logo.
Right.
But either way it goes, I don't like the Packers, fam.
I hear you.
But the Packers, I gotta respect it. I don't like the Packers, man. And then, what pisses me off, a lot of game-ending catches that didn't make no sense. I'm saying, like, dog, are you kidding me? Hail Marys. I'm like, nah, man. Like, why
the biggest one that stands out.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the biggest one that stands out when you're talking about the Packers and whatnot, like, that Aaron Rodgers joint against Detroit.
Yeah, man.
Who was it? Jermichael Finley? Whoever it was that caught the ball. Yeah. But yeah. So the Packers off-season acquisitions go like this. They brought in guard Aaron Banks from San Francisco 49ers. Cornerback Nate Hobbs from the Vegas Raiders. Got to get used to saying that because I'm still not used to saying that. I still want to say Oakland.
Yeah.
But then they got four 1-year contracts. John Fitzpatrick, they kept him as a tight end. Mecole Hardman.
Mm-hmm.
Speedy wide receiver. Isaiah Simmons. Big disappointment as a player, if I say so myself. Isaiah Simmons, like, you were supposed to be like something defensively. You were supposed to be that. But I guess things just hasn't worked out for him. He was one of those players that he could play linebacker, he could play safety, he could play in the box. But he hasn't shown to be able to.
I'm real passionate about that right there, dog.
He was supposed to be something. He was supposed to be something. He got drafted by Arizona, got traded to New York, and now he's on the Packers. So, But anyway, Isaiah Simmons was one of those big dudes. I don't know if you can call them freak of natures, but he was one of those big dudes that he had the athletic ability to play a lot of positions on the field. And coaches took advantage of that, and they never had him master any one of them.
So what would you have did with him?
For me, I would have had him be a box safety. Box safety. All day long. Box safety. He would have learned like medium to short passing routes and how to defend them.
Mm-hmm.
Zone concepts and how to play that. That's what I would have did with him. I mean, he's not like one of the biggest disappointments in NFL history.
Oh,
he's not that.
Dag, though.
He's not that. But like he is a disappointment. I can't say that he's achieved anything, but he is a disappointment. But anyway,
that goes into the coaching, because you say coaches sometimes don't know how to.
That's all the time. Coaches, they don't know how to use certain players. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they do this, but they draft a certain player that specializes in a certain thing, and they'll try to make him play another type of way and expect the same kind of production. And I'm like, look, dog, you need to establish with this player what he was dominant with in college, so he can have his confidence.
Yeah.
Establish that first. And then if you want to add to it, then add to it. But don't be looking at a 250-pound pass rusher on the edge and expecting him to hold up against the run when that was something that he never had to do.
I mean, but you don't. Listen, man, some coaches, man, like, I don't know, man. They try to get cute. Would you say some coaches is too egotistical?
I would say that I feel like a whole lot of coaches fall into this trap of my quarterback needs to have 300 plus passing yards, 3+ touchdowns with 1 or less interceptions. That's what I would say.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this, right? Because with coaches, right? I ask this. Do you feel like coaches just want to win their way? They don't really want to take the constructive criticism, the adjust anything, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's every coach. They want to win their way.
Would you be like that if you was a coach? Objectively, would it be hard to take criticism on your style? Or would you listen to other?
No, I mean I would always listen to other coaches. I would give an ear to the players if I have the ability to do that, like as far as like having the time to and whatnot. Yeah. But like I feel like for the most part, when you do something like this, your own understanding of the game can pay you a lot of dividends. Mm-hmm. Not that it gets you the ultimate trophy, but it pays a lot of dividends.
Yeah. Well,
for sure.
Like you're drifting again, fam.
Man, look.
You fading, cuz.
I'm 3 Hawks.
I see you fading. You know what I'm saying?
I'm 3 incredible Hawks.
Every time we get to football, you get the fading. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't no every time. It's 12:40.
Hey, I mean, listen.
And I'm used to being in bed by 10. So I'm trying to give you the NFC North so we can complete this.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna fade. I listen. I mean, if you gonna fade, I mean.
But anyway, listen. The Packers, they drafted Matthew Golden in the first round of wide receiver. That's a little bit of a reach for me. He doesn't have the production to show that he should be a first round pick.
People if you ask me, he was cold.
He does not have the production that says first round pick wide receiver. So he doesn't even have 1,000 yards receiving.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe this might be I hardly feel like first round receivers should go. I hardly ever feel like receivers should be first round like that. That's just me though. You got to be really like that to be a first round pick as a receiver. You know what I'm saying?
You know what got him drafted? He ran a 4.3 in his 40-yard dash.
Yeah, but what does that mean if you're getting covered though?
Exactly.
What is your route running like? I mean,
exactly.
Because the thing is, you can be fast, but if you can't run routes, if you can't, what is that? You can just you running fast in the straight. Didn't some dude that ran track play college football? I think he went to NFL a little bit too.
For y'all to understand this, Matt played wide receiver. Yeah,
and I'm not the fastest dude in the world. You know what I'm saying? But I was able to run routes. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm slow, but I run with long strides. So, I mean, I'm not the fastest. So, I have to be able to run routes and things like that. So, the speed, honestly, speed means something on a straight line tip. But if you can juke your defender and lose them, that's just as good. And maybe even better, actually, if you can run that route and do what you got to do. Is all faking out your defender and all that type of stuff. I'd rather have that over the fast guy. If you can, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well,
that's my opinion, though.
He ran like a 4.3 at the 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. And the funny thing is, whenever you would listen to scouts about this, they would be saying stuff like, yeah, he ran 4.3 at the Combine, but you never seen it on tape.
So what happened? What if your defender run that same thing?
You isolated, dog. You eliminated out the picture.
I want to hear eliminated
out the picture. Like, I don't know why the Green Bay Packers did this. I don't know. I don't know why they did that.
Because my thing is this, right? When it comes, I didn't mean to do that. I actually muted myself by accident. But okay. So the thing is this: if you go in first round, I would like to think you got the speed, you got the route running, you got the hands. You got the awareness. You got all that to be first round, not just speed. What you telling me is just speed.
Yeah, that's unfortunately kind of like what he like. Because the thing is, like, what can you show me that says that he's a first round wide receiver?
I don't really see wide receivers as first round people to me like that. You got to have all of that. And then even with speed, okay, even if you burn your defender, you got safeties to deal with, too.
Right.
So you can burn your guy, but you still got cats back there you got to deal with. So, I mean, I need more than just speed for my receiver. That's just me. Because would you say Chad Johnson, right? Was he the fastest?
No, but he was fast. He was fast and he was quick with his feet.
But his thing was route running, though.
Yes. He was probably one of the top 3 route runners in this league's history.
And that's why, because he never, he was fast, but I mean, most people is. You know what I mean? As a professional athlete, but his route running, you hear about his route running. That was cold like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, I mean, looking at the Green Bay Packers, they got Matthew Bolden, the first round wide receiver. Anthony Belton, offensive tackle from North Carolina State. Savion Williams, also wide receiver from Texas Christian University. Baron Sorwell, edge player on the defensive line from Texas. Colin Oliver, linebacker from Oklahoma State. Warren Brinson, defensive tackle from Georgia. Micah Robinson, cornerback from Tulane, and John Williams, offensive tackle from Cincinnati. When I look at Green Bay, man, look, nothing scares me about their roster. Again.
Yeah, but whenever they run into the Lions, they turn to Goku.
That's the divisional rival thing.
Saying, when it don't, the record don't matter. Whenever we see Green Bay, it's a problem.
But that's like the director's fault.
I hate Green Bay. Dude, listen, I hate Green Bay with a passion. Like, Green Bay, I hate Green Bay, fam. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't look. You don't never see Green Bay jerseys roam around Detroit, Green Bay or the Vikings. You'll see Chicago before you see that.
Right.
You'll
Right.
even see Cleveland before you see that.
Right.
You're not gonna see Green Bay, dog. Would you
Right.
wear green? Would you wear a Favre jersey in Detroit?
I'm not wearing a Favre jersey at all. But that's just me. Not that Favre is not a great quarterback. Favre was one of those players. Favre was the first player that was breaking his wide receiver's fingers in practice because he threw the ball so hard.
Now, question. I know quarterbacks like they balls different. Pause. But because I know, what was it? Tom Brady, he liked to have him like with less air, right? But Aaron Rodgers
grip it better.
But Aaron Rodgers like it full though, which to me, like they like, you know what I mean? Which one, if you was a receiver, which one would you like to catch more? The one that the Aaron Rodgers or the Tom Brady?
As a receiver, I would think you would want to catch the ball that you can grip a little bit more, that you can grab out the sky.
The Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Because if Aaron Rodgers throwing the full bullet at you, how, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. I mean, look, I'm still going to stick with my answer.
I mean, I don't know. I don't care nothing about the Packers or the Vikings. They can kick rocks, man.
All right, so let's breeze through them. Vikings offensive, well, let's just say they additions.
Mm-hmm.
Guard Will Fries from Indianapolis Colts. He got broke off too. 5 years, $87.7 million.
Good pickup or no? Would you
Anytime you establish something in the trenches, that's always a good pickup.
Okay. Would you have paid that?
Personally, with what I got right now going on with my team, nah. I wouldn't have paid that. Nah. But they was able to keep Byron Murphy, cornerback that they had last year. That was a good signing. This is the big signing that they had in the offseason or trade. Jonathan Allen, defensive tackle from Washington. Now, he's a vet. He's a vet player. You're not going to bully him at all. Like, you're not even going to come close. So
that's always good.
Yeah. And so to add him to the defensive line, that's worth his weight in gold. Let me see here. Javon Hargrave, former 49ers defensive tackle, didn't really wow nobody this season. Ryan Kelly, starting center from the Colts. Isaiah Rodgers, starting cornerback from the Eagles. Eric Wilson, starting inside linebacker from the corridor of forget what I said. But anyway, outside of that though, like when you look at they off-season acquisitions, they got a lot of solid players. Like Jeff Okuda, he's a solid cornerback. Rondale Moore, I'm actually excited about him. I've been a fan of Rondale since he was at Purdue. Rondale, like, he's a smaller wide receiver. He's like 5'7", 5'6", but like he was a one-man wrecking crew against Ohio State. He was part of the Purdue's team that beat Ohio State when Ohio State was supposed to have a team that was supposed to be a national championship team before all this playoff stuff started. So Rondale Moore was like, he's definitely a one-man wrecking crew, and then Tim Jones from Jacksonville. So they didn't really wow anybody with their free agency acquisitions, but they got some good, solid signings with Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave. Ryan Kelly is a solid signing, and I still will say Rondale Moore is a solid signing for Minnesota. When you pair Rondale Moore with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
Mm-hmm.
That's problems. And then you add to the fact that they got T.J. Hawkinson.
What would you say they what would you say, are they playoffs?
Well, they made the
It's hard
playoffs
to make the
last year.
playoffs in football, dog. Like, you know what I mean?
They should make the playoffs because they made the playoffs last year with less talent. So they should make the playoffs. But right now, as it stands, JJ McCarthy. So they putting all their faith in McCarthy. He's a quarterback from last year. He was showing out in the preseason, then he had a season-ending injury. So he never even played a snap in the regular season. Aaron Jones, I feel like they could have upgraded there, but it is what it is. At running back, Justin Jefferson, we all know about Jay Jettas. Then Jordan Addison, wide receiver also. And then Jalen Naylor, Michigan State grad. He was out there, doing a little something. Maybe he'll get some more opportunities now. T.J. Hawkinson, former Detroit Lion. Real tight end is what I'll say is as his definition. Real tight end. That's all I'm saying. Let me see who we got left. Jalen Naylor at the wide receiver, T.J. Hawkinson, fullback, C.J. Ham, left tackle, Christian Darrisaw. Hopefully he stays healthy. When we look at the draft, Donovan Jackson, offensive guard from Ohio State, offensive guard who played tackle because Josh Simmons got hurt out for the season, so he moved over from guard to tackle. Josh Simmons, I'm a big fan of. Probably the best left tackle in this draft, in my personal opinion. Wide receiver, Ty Felton from Maryland. Edge, Tyrion Ingram Dawkins from Georgia. Linebacker, Kobe King from Penn State. And then tight end, Gavin Bartholomew from Pittsburgh. So this draft is really all about the first round pick, Donovan Jackson. If he doesn't live out to where he's supposed to be, which is they already got him started as the left guard, Donovan Jackson, next to Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, and Brian O'Neill. So they got a solid O-line. You look at their defense. Jonathan Allen, the defensive lineman from out of Washington. Nose tackle, Harrison Phillips. Right defensive end, Javon Hargrave from the 49ers. So this is a 3-4 defensive line. That means 3 defensive linemen and 4 linebackers standing up. So your will linebacker is Jonathan Greener. They got him from Houston. Your left inside linebacker is Ivan Pace. He might be a Canada purchase. He might be one of those kind of guys where you got him out of like a pack of dudes and you just like found him kind of to a degree. Blake Cashman. I actually like Cashman a little bit. When he was on Houston, but he's over there now. So hopefully he'll, they'll keep him and whatnot. Andrew Van Ginkel as strong linebacker, which he's really like a edge rusher. So don't let the title get to your head too much. Isaiah Rodgers, small corner. I would say he's more of a corner, more of a nickel guy. Josh Metellus, safety. Michigan's own. Well, he's actually from Florida, but he went to college in Michigan. Harrison Smith, the vet, been here for a long time, doing this for a long time. Wonder how much more he got left in him if he wants to play. Harrison Smith. I mean, not Harrison's. Yeah, it is Harrison Smith, the vet at free safety. Then Mekhi Becton, the right side cornerback, and then the nickelback Byron Murphy. There's nothing that scares you about this team at the age that they are. If they would have called Jonathan Allen at a younger age, it would have been problems. If they would have called Harrison Smith at a younger age, it would have been problems. But both of those players, who are probably arguably the best two players on their defense, are on the back end of their career. So,
yeah, but they might still do a little something.
Yes, that's always a possibility. That's always a possibility. Because they know how to play the game.
Mm-hmm. That's always when you look at them, say all the time about the IQ.
You have to. Yeah, they know how to play. You rather play with guys that know how to play the game than guys that just know athletic ability, but they don't know technique.
But you want to mix.
They don't know IQ of understanding. You do, because you want to be able to train your athletic freaks with the brain of the vets. Ideally. So what we did, the Bears, we did the Packers, we just did the Vikings. So let's move on to the Detroit Lions. Can we do that?
I'm worried about. I'm hoping our coaching staff is still tight. You know what I'm saying? Because we lost 2 keys. You know what I mean? And my issue is Dan Campbell, the things he be doing. Like, I mean, because somebody was talking to me like, well, you got that far with it. I'm like, yeah, but that don't mean that you have to be able to adjust that play calling. Like, you cannot always gamble.
Well, see, the thing with Detroit
is it's okay to play safe. It's okay to play it safe, man.
The thing with Detroit is this. They lost offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator to head coaching jobs.
Hold on, I thought my man for the Bears just went to the Bears. He the head coach?
Yeah, Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator.
Oh, he was the head coach now?
He's the head coach.
Oh, I thought he just went to the. Okay, I mean, you can't be mad at that. You can't be mad at that if they both went got head coaching jobs. You can't be mad at that.
Aaron Glenn got a head coaching job at the Jets.
He said that's his dream job. So,
well, he used to play for them.
Yeah. So you know.
So it is what it is with them. But off-season acquisitions. So they lost Carlton Davis to corner, but they got DJ Reed, and I feel like that's an upgrade. Me personally. Yeah. Now I know DJ Reed is a smaller corner. Carlton Davis, I think he's like 6 foot or something like that. DJ Reed is like a 5'9" guy.
But corner's not that tall anyway.
But DJ Reed, he got that dog in him.
Yeah, corner's not that tall. How many corners you see that 6 feet?
Most of the number one corners in this league are knocking on that, if they not are that are at all. Because
to my ignorance, you know what I mean? I always thought receivers was like around 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, 6'4". Most of them are. Nickel guys normally aren't, but most of the receivers are that height. And so what the defense does is they like, oh, you're getting a smaller wide receiver, then we need to get a smaller defender.
Why?
It's just habit. That's what they do, I think. But anyway, after DJ Reed, they was able to keep Levi in-house. They brought Roy Lopez, defensive tackle, in-house, who just got drafted last year. Khalil Dorsey, cornerback that they kept in-house. Tim Patrick, wide receiver that they kept in-house. Now, if you don't know about Tim Patrick, you should know about Tim Patrick. The big, lengthy, light-skinned wide receiver that catches everything pretty much midfield to deep.
I mean, yeah. No, Megatron, though, but,
No. Grant Stewart, outside linebacker. Defensive end, Al Quaiden Muhammad from Miami. Avante Maddox, cornerback from the Eagles. I like this pickup.
Oh, he left the Eagles to come with us?
Yes.
Why would he do that? They must have wanted paying him or something.
Yeah. You know they got to make room for the guys that they like. But when it comes to that, I've been an Anthony Maddox fan for a minute now. I mean, he's a smaller corner, but he plays the nickel just right. Because when you play nickel, you need to have that shiftiness to play with the receiver that's going out running the route. You need to have that shiftiness. If you don't, you're gonna be down by 10 by the end of you don't want to play around with that. Yeah. But anyway, after Avonte Maddox, they kept Dan Skipper, the big 6'7" tackle, offensive lineman, got another offensive guard, and got another defensive end. Pat O'Connor. I feel like I know that name from somewhere. And then Kenny Yeboah, tight end. Craig Reynolds, Kyle Allen, Zach Cunningham, Rock Ya-Sin, Shane Zylstra, Malik Taylor, Mitchell Agude. I think that's what it is. There's no I, but it's Agude.
They be having some wild names, man.
Yeah. And then Raekwon Williams.
Oh, Ghost.
So when I think about the Lions, that's their free agency of who they brought in. But when I look at their draft, I like they draft a whole lot more because they shored up the trenches. Talik Williams, defensive tackle from Ohio State. If you wasn't paying attention to what was going on in this playoffs, you should know that this dude right here, Talik, you not running the ball his way for the most part. Like you gotta I don't know, like how you handle the dude this like this, because Talik, he's probably the best run defender in this whole draft. And so the Lions just drafted him. And then they added the offensive guard, Tate Ratledge, who's normally always hosting. And Tate Ratledge, he's a trench player, a guard. And anytime you shore up the trenches, I feel like you win. Anytime you shore up the trenches. Talik Williams and Tate Ratledge, that alone makes this draft a W for Detroit. That alone.
But the coaching, though, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
one thing that I heard from one of my coworkers, he follows it a lot, and he said that
it's what back to back. Hold on 1 second. So what's calling me back to back?
Lewis, you're calling you?
Yeah, back to back. Hold on.
All right, go ahead and see what that's about.
Let me pause it. Yeah.
So anyway, where was I at? Oh, I was reviewing a draft. Detroit wide receiver Isaac Tesla.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh no, that Tesla's what's the name stuff.
Yeah. They got a guard, Miles Frazier, out of LSU. This is another big pick in the draft. Ahmad Hassanin, edge from Boise State.
Can you say that's the Indian dude?
The first Egyptian player to get drafted in the NFL draft.
Yeah, but is that like, so is he nice though?
So look, let me tell you this much, man. Look, when you get drafted in the 6th round, you're not highly sought after. There's 7 rounds in the draft. You're not highly sought after, but he has the attitude that you want. So maybe down the line he'll put in the work and he'll be, somebody that you could, throw in the rotation. But he has the attitude that you want, along with the last 2 picks of the draft, Dan Jackson and Dominic Lovett, both Georgia guys, safety and wide receiver. Pretty much Detroit is in a very lovely position because they don't have a lot that they need to replace roster-wise. But looking at they off-season acquisitions as far as free agents, they got a number of players that are going to serve backup roles, or they're going to serve lower depth chart roles. So the whole thing with Detroit is this, because they should still win the division. I don't see a reason why they shouldn't win the division. They should still win the division. But the whole thing with them is like, what is this new offensive coordinator? Which is, I heard from somebody else that I work with that follows Detroit everything, like to the T. Like he knows, like a lot of stuff. He said that the guy that's serving as the offensive coordinator right now, he was the mastermind behind the offense from the beginning anyway. That's something that a whole lot of franchises like to spur out to make the fans not panic. So we need to wait and see on that and see what that really turns out to be. But from a roster perspective, on paper, Detroit Lions, they should be very well back in the position that they was in this past year.
I've heard this before.
And just have to win. Because the thing is, they didn't suffer no major losses to their roster. They didn't suffer no major losses to their roster. Like, they was out there, like, this is the benefit of winning the right way. You have multiple players that you're eligible to keep because they're not selling out to go get the big contract.
I mean, look. I'm concerned about. I'm not worried about the players, right? Because my issue with our head coach, I don't know if the offense. I feel like he was overruling some calls, man. Like as far as like the gambling stuff, I don't like the gambling.
Well, anytime money is involved, stuff is gonna get switched around.
I don't like the gambling, fam. I don't like the gambling calls, man. Like if he gonna continue on with that, I love Dan Campbell, I do, but the gambling cost us a trip to the Super Bowl, literally.
For real.
Literally.
Listen, look, I've been down that road 3 different times, dog. You ain't got to sing that to me. I've been down that road. I know what it's like. So, listen, look, maybe he's not fit for this.
The head coach? Now, this is the thing. I don't want no Mark Jackson situation because the thing is, he got us here. I mean, this is the thing. We wasn't about nothing. Now, I did like the black coach. What was his name?
I got his picture in my head.
I like him. I didn't like my man from the Patriots. I didn't like him, but I like the black coach.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, but
I know exactly who you're talking about because he ended up winning the championship.
I feel like he'd be doing...
No, he didn't win the championship. He played in the Super Bowl.
I feel like he could be doing the same with this roster if he had it. You know what I'm saying? But, if not better. But Dan Campbell's my man's, though. You know what I mean? It's just the gambling. Stop the gambling, fam. Please. Stop the gambling.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, look, here's the thing. With Dan Campbell, like, his style is who he is. So you're going to get that in all necessary situations or even questionable situations. Obviously, no situations, you're not going to get that from him.
Would you agree with the statement that I heard? I've seen some comments saying that he coached like he playing Madden.
Dan?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Would you say he's a good coach?
A good head coach? Yeah.
Yes.
I would say that Dan Campbell is. Like, he's proven that to a degree. Like, if he can do that again while losing the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, then big ups to him, like major, in a major way.
If you's the GM, all right, and he cost you a trip to the Super Bowl by not kicking a field goal, you wouldn't have no words?
You always gonna have some words for that because your emotions is wrapped up in the moment. You looking at this like we can make it to the Super Bowl. We can make it to the Super Bowl. He may be looking at this situation like, yeah, we ain't close enough. We just need one more cushion right here, and then we gonna be straight. You know, like you never know. Like, it's like what they say about how some people can look at the same picture and have two different perspectives on it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this could be like. You know, like Dan, like he definitely can coach. You just don't know why he doesn't use his rotation. You know,
so
it's just right. So it's like Dan Campbell. Look, I'm not really too worried about them right now. Like, if I see something at the beginning of the season, then you know it might be cause for that. But for the most part, they reinstilled who they are. They got Tate Ratledge on the guard spot. Like, he gonna be like pushing folks around. Then you got Roy Lopez at defensive tackle spot. Like, it's not gonna be easy to move these guys around.
Right.
So I mean, look, Detroit, they should technically be in the same spot that they was last year.
I hope so. I'm just worried about that coaching stuff. But if that ain't a blow, I'm gonna trust you on that.
I mean, well, I'm not saying that it's not a blow, but what I'm saying is it could be something that they could recover from quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because to lose that, and I don't know who the people was that they got exactly, but to lose those people there that you've been in communication with.
Yeah.
You know, so, but the Lions, I think they straight. They should be a playoff team again because the whole thing is you just want to make it to the playoffs. You rather make it to where they come and travel on your home floor, but for the most part, this is something that Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, both gone.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my best clip of Aaron Glenn was, I think it was that Minnesota Vikings game to determine who was going to have the number one seed. And he was already down a short hand. Like, he already had like two cornerbacks that was down and out, not able to play. And I think he lost a defensive lineman. And they showed a video, a picture / video of him with his back against the wall for Europe and whatnot. So it's like I don't know. I mean, look, the biggest thing that they did was they shored up the trenches. Both sides of the ball. Now, I do feel like the defensive tackle was a little rich because he's just a run defender.
Yeah.
He's not a pass rusher. He's just a run defender. So, like, at the end of the day, you're not doing Aiden much favors with this dude. Like, you just making him feel like, okay, they ain't running your way.
I mean, that's still something.
It is.
You want to have something at least. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because there are some guys who not cold and they just out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So at least he specializes something. At least.
Well, the Lions is kind of a wait and see situation. Because you want to see what they really going to look like with they new coaching staffs.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, but as far as the roster on paper, there's nothing wrong there. I seen something where Dan Campbell was trying to shout out J-Mo, saying that he was going to have a big 2025-26 season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shoot. I mean, look, it's just so much of a wait and see game because they lost so much on the coaching front. We just gotta wait and see with them.
That's what I'm worried about. That's really all I'm worried about right there. So,
but you look at their division. They Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago. All three of those opponents are going to be opponents where you're going to need to score the ball.
Yeah.
You can't just be making a pile and whatnot. You have to score the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have it's like the division. I mean, all division games is tough, just like college. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Rivalry games. No matter what, they wake up for those. So I'm always worried about the Vikings too, though, a little bit. We have issues with both of them, it seems. But, you know what I'm saying? So
y'all ain't have issues with the Vikings this year, though.
Nah, but they still ain't no easy win.
They not no easy win because they got Jay Jettis on, and y'all don't got nobody who can single-handedly cover him. You got to have some help.
Yeah. You know, and the Packers, this is always, they either we winning off some luck stuff or what, I don't know what be up with them. So, but we gonna go ahead and end this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can get up,
get in the bed,
handle your business. Folks calling me off that drink and all that. So, you know what I mean?
They trying to turn up.
Yeah. So, you know, so we gonna end this here. You know,
that's the NFC North. So you can chop that up right there with the NFC North.
Yeah, I chopped that up. Yeah. I got you on that. So, yeah. So,
all right.
We talk a little about Ant and all that. So. That's what's up. We're going to be up next couple days.
I bet.
All right, man. So we'll get some rest, fam.
Yes, will do.
Yes, sir.
Peace.